one and all. You are not in the wrong place. Newbies to Lifers will tell you this is the Life Be Life in podcast. Due to some ailments, you know what I'm saying? She's a bit under the weather. We are normally hosted by the vivacious, the gorgeous, the witty, the wise, the eclectic, and the electric Mimi, the goddess. But, send her your prayers and well wishes as she recovers from her current physical ailments. Um,
We'll
but
get better.
meanwhile, the second best host, the second best host on the show is still here. You feel me? She's normally flanked by your favorite coach's favorite coach, your favorite fat freckle man, the big dog himself. Who? So we have a special guest with us tonight, as you can see. GFT Radio's own from Sex with Sunny and Unreservedly Us. We have Sunny herself, y'all. She's in the
Hey
building.
y'all.
Yes, yes. So, you know what I'm saying? Get comfortable, folks. As always, I always start off with some small conversation while I check and make sure that all of our listeners have a way to tap in. I got to make sure everything's acting the way it's supposed to act. But in the meantime, Sonny, how you doing? How's your week been going?
My week has been interesting. Thank God for it was been interesting. It's not bad, but thank God for therapy. I swear therapy
Mm,
helps
that's real.
me be less reactive. I've been on a journey the last couple months, and like it's been very interesting. So this week was kind of like a test to my journey. But I'm here, so I'm not in jail. Nothing happened, so I'm good.
Hey, hey, not being in jail is a big deal
No,
these
not that.
days, man. The way
Yeah,
some people be trying you, the way
yeah, and
some
it's
people
like
be trying you, folks.
yeah, like I'm one of the people that try to be like I've been for the last couple of years I've been working on myself, right, with a lot of different things. Been in
Okay.
therapy for like almost 2 years now. It probably was 2 years. It's probably 2 years going on 3. But I feel
Okay.
like when you're on that journey, like I don't necessarily publicize that. Do I talk about it? Yes, but I
Hmm.
feel like I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. But like I felt like this week was like we know you must be really working overtime on yourself, and now we're gonna poke the bear and see
Yeah,
what happens. And it was like I just like
that's
I
real.
see. I don't know why. I think thank God for giving me the sight of seeing people's intentions and
Mm,
understanding that you want me to react the way that I can't give you that. And that's my pride not giving you what you're seeking, then that's better for me because it's not going to be good for me to react, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Even if I'm reacting positively, right?
hmm.
Just reacting, giving them that I'm paying attention. I'm putting down what you like. It's like I peep it, but you're not gonna get no reaction from me, and
That's
it's
dope.
hard because you want to when people walk across the line, you want to walk them back, and
Yes,
I'm trying not to
indeed.
do that. I'm trying not to be so quick to do that. So
Yes, indeed. That's it. Listen, that's some very real stuff, Sonny. For real, for real.
yeah,
Like people definitely will try you and try you and try you, and then when you respond, all of a sudden you the bad guy. All of a sudden you Captain Crash Out. You know what I'm saying? Knowing full well that they ran the gamut of ill-conceived behaviors to get you there. You know
and
what
that's
I'm
what I feel
saying?
like, and that's my biggest problem with people. It's like you do, and that's the one thing about me. My reaction is always like if I could put it in a way, I'm a Taurus, two Taurus. You don't poke. You can flash a red flag at a bull and we gonna see it. A lot
Right.
of us see that red flag and we avoid it. It's kind of like I always compare it now to Chris Brown when he did that diss track. He went he said some stuff in there that was too far. I'm definitely
Mm,
gonna take it completely over the line and pass that shit. Like
I,
um,
I
and
feel
then
you.
when you say, "Oh, why did you react that way?" It's like, no, because I've been chilling and I've been trying not to react. I've been sitting here just ignoring this red flag that I've been saying, like you all up in my face with, and I'm just like this. And now
Right.
I see it, and now you're mad at how I reacted. Like not that you were the reason that I did. Like you could have left me alone. So And I say
You
that a
could
lot.
have left me alone.
People could leave me alone, and I think they choose not to. And like I'm more of a my younger years, I was more reactive,
Hmm.
and so even now, I'm less reactive, but don't get it twisted. So, but I'm working. I'm a work in progress.
Hey man, growth is all we can ask for as humans sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
Perfection is too grand of a target to shoot for. It's not realistic, it's not practical. So
yeah,
what you do is grow as much as you can, as steadily as you can, as consistently as you can. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, that puts you ahead of a lot of people, okay? Because there's a lot of
yeah,
people just out here, they're not doing the work, they're not trying to grow, they
yeah.
comfortable in
Where they
themselves
at? Yeah,
wherever they at. Yeah, no matter how low the level is. So, I'm not just saying because I'm your friend and in the group with you, but I applaud as a person. I applaud you holding on to who you are, who you feel like you need to be,
yeah,
and not being willing to let somebody take you out of where you feel like you need to be. Because, like you said, at the end of the day, you'll be the one looked at, what I'm saying, like you was wrong, like you was stepping wrong. And then on top of that, you feel like you let yourself down, you know?
yeah. And that's the biggest part. It's not even. Yeah, I feel like I allowed somebody that's the part where you get to you allowed somebody knowing how you are and how you can be. I allowed you to walk me back to something I didn't want to, and until a moment in time, it takes me back to a lot. So it's like I don't want to be that.
Right.
I've
I
grown,
completely understand.
and
Right.
I'm working on growing. So I don't want to be easily taken back by that. So
No, I respect that. I respect that a whole lot
yeah,
because, people tend to be put in these situations and then turn around and, hit you with the, well, I'm just who I am. I can't help it,
yeah,
And I think that's a cop out to a certain extent. I think if we all
yeah.
try, we can help it.
And
Hold on, I gotta do one more thing. I mean, I'm staying on the
the
video,
live,
of
yeah,
course. I'm staying on live,
yeah,
of course. But I gotta wait one more adjustment before we can really
hmm
take off and make sure, because I don't want no interruptions.
yeah,
Um, but I am glad that you got yourself through, yeah, and you took advantage of therapy. On this channel, for sure, we are big advocates for therapy and
oh yeah. I say
self-development.
go. Yeah, I say go too. And find a therapist that works for you. Um, that's another thing because I have a friend that goes to therapy as well, and what they need from their therapist is not the type of therapist they actually go to.
Okay.
So like to make it make sense is so if you're a person like for me, I just need to vent and get it out because I'm gonna say this and it sounds bad. I seek um what is it validation that my
Mm,
although I know my feelings, I'm just in my feelings. I'm entitled to my feelings and it's okay to feel the way I feel. I need validation to make sure that I'm not because when you get to a point where you feel like people are saying that you're always the bad guy and like your reaction is this and it's like, hey, like this is a situation, my reaction was this. What do you think? Type of thing. I need that
mm.
validation to say that
Okay,
I
I get
was
what you're saying.
like, even though I know that I was right, I need you to confirm that I was right because they got me questioning my own reaction or
Questioning
me being
yourself.
upset, me taking something a certain way, and like I need that validation, right? So I don't necessarily need
Yeah,
a
you need
therapist.
a self check. That's what it is. You need a check.
Yeah.
You
So
need
I don't
somebody,
need like
to help with your checks and balances.
yeah. So I don't need like a therapist that's gonna go like I'm sitting on their couch. They like that type of therapist where I'm, going through the motions and I need them to they diagnose me with this. Like, yes, I'm diagnosed with
Hmm.
anxiety and depression. Um,
Hmm.
but and a little bit of PTSD, but like it's not like I don't have to be medicated. So I don't have to go to that type of doctor that has to medicate me, type of
Okay.
doctor. So if you don't need that, you just need to be at an event and like my therapist gives me feedback, tells me to look at certain things a certain way, or kind of see it from a side that I don't see it from. So she brings that to my attention. Like I said, so there's a difference because you need to know what kind of therapy you need to be going to. Because if you're going to somebody's event and you actually need help with with traumas and you need to not be so triggered, because I know people that get triggered easily. Like, you can't go to somebody just to
Mm-hmm.
win, because as soon as they say something you don't like, you trigger. No, you need to go to somebody that's gonna get to the root of why you're triggered. Like, just things like, even though she does that, but like, even if you need that extra step of like the extra medication help, you
Right.
might need to see a doctor that can give you medicine and work through different problems you have, because now you're borderline a certain mental illness, so you need that. Versus like, if I got worse, I'm pretty sure my therapist now would be like, okay, now you gotta go see another one, because
Okay.
this is out of
This is not my expertise, right?
I'm not scope. So I think finding the right person for you, and finding somebody you're comfortable with, and stop going to these therapists and not talking. You got to talk. They don't know you. You got to talk to them.
Okay.
They
It
can't be,
it
yes, their
it, it
job is to
is
pull information, but you also need to be open to talk, because why are you there?
absolutely, absolutely,
So, so
absolutely.
I know a lot
You
of people
brought up
that
a
don't
very
get
good
the
point.
down.
You
Yeah.
brought up a very good point about knowing what type of therapist you need. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that's very important, being able to figure that out about yourself, to know what you require, what kind of, because just like if you're sick, you need to know which kind of medicine, you require to
Mm-hmm.
help get you better. If you got a cough, you need to know whether it is you got a flu, you got a cold, you got COVID, you got,
Yeah.
pneumonia, because just going ahead and taking generic cough syrup is not going to get it done if you have something serious. So just going and saying, hey, I'm going to therapy, and going to a therapist, and whether it's telehealth or you sitting in the office, it's not going to get it done.
And either way, if
You
I
got to
was,
be willing to put the work in.
yeah, and that's why I feel like it's a benefit. Like I said, she tells me a lot of stuff that I get. So you know what you're doing. You just, like, my issue. I have boundaries. She said you just don't stand on your boundaries, but you expect people to stand on your boundaries and you don't.
Hmm.
So it's like, this is stuff I know. Like, she's like, hello, but she's gonna be that person. Like, I have a friend that could do that too, call me to the carpet. But now this
Hmm.
person is unbiased. They're not emotionally invested, so now I don't have to deal with emotionally invested in my friends and my stuff. And I can talk to somebody that I'm paying to tell me, hey, look, you might want to look at this way, because the way you're looking at it, this is why your reaction is X, Y, and Z, and this is how you don't go into the space of depression because you're over here with it, and it's not even that. So, like,
Right.
ways to kind of walk you out of the depression. So it's a lot, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of people
That's
that
why
don't
Mimi
answer. People are
calls her
going to the wrong places.
therapist. That's why Mimi calls her therapist her professional best friend, because, like you said, it's that level of being able to check you, being able to tell you, like, yo, you already know. Like, I don't need to tell you what you don't know. I just need to remind you. I need to reinforce what you already know.
Yeah,
And those checks matter. Those checks matter. Hey,
yeah.
Ty, thanks for joining the chat.
They tired. Oh, and Mimi, feel better. And
And
I
Ty
just was sick
also
for a while
said,
too.
maintain your safe space.
That part, and that's another thing I struggle with, because I want to be around everybody, but I don't. If that makes sense.
I actually understand.
It's
I
like,
actually
I love
understand.
these people. I love it. I'm a very social. And it's funny because I just seen this thing, and it's so funny when I say these things, and I be going scrolling through the gram and the reels and everything, or Facebook or TikTok. They say how
Hmm.
Tauruses are the most social and socially antisocial people you will ever know. They love to be around people. They love to be on the scene and have fun, but they also like people to leave them alone. So,
Hmm.
and I definitely, and I laugh because you don't want to get stuck on a sign, but I'm a big sign person. But it's just funny when I see that, because I never thought that about my sign, and I'm like, I know a lot of people that's like me that's like that, and like, or that are Tauruses that are like that, and I'm like, yeah, I really love to be around people, but I also want them to leave me the hell alone. So
Mimi's the same way. She would have said the same thing, and she would have chalked it up to being a tourist. That's
yeah.
funny.
Oh, she a Taurus too?
Yes, she is.
Oh, I know that's right. Is she a May Taurus?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, this is why I know I love her. Dana's a Taurus too, so
Yes.
if she watching, she know.
Yeah. In fact, my friend Banks, who was on the last time you came on our show, her and Mimi share birthdays, so she's also a May Taurus.
Oh yeah. See, okay. See, it's something about us. We the best. I don't know if you don't got one, get one. We the best.
Oh man,
Let's
Myra, what's
go.
up? Thanks for joining the chat, bro. Thanks for joining the chat, bro. We just, we just warming the room up so far. You know what I'm saying?
Um, I'm
We
sorry, I
haven't
got in
really
trouble
got.
for laughing. My son doesn't like when I laugh. He on the case. And what the hell are you laughing at?
You
That's
want to
my
know what's
dad. I
so
call him
funny?
my dad. Yeah.
We haven't really gotten to the topic just yet. We kind of waiting for more people to, fill in the room so we don't have to do so much backtracking because I realize that happens a lot. Um,
Yeah.
where we start getting into it and people are like, what y'all talking about? And it's like, yo, we 30
Like,
minutes
you
in.
done missed it. You done came in 15 minutes
You know what
late.
I'm saying? So on top of the fact that I started late, so you know what I mean.
Nah, you good.
But yeah, so yeah, I ain't ready to get into the details of my week. I'm gonna just say it's been rough. I posted on Facebook, 2025 is putting belt to ass, and that's
Oh,
just
Jesus.
really what it seems like, man. Like it's just January was a long ass year. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
The last the last month and week or so have made for a long year already. Uh,
January
everything
took
from
forever.
spinning what it do, folk.
That's so you wanna know why
Everything.
January took so long? It was a lot
Why
of
you
shit
say that?
happening in
It
January. It
was a
was
lot.
like we was in like a trauma induced long ass like I just want game of tag that nobody wanted to participate in except for a few people. Like it was a lot happening. We were traumatized in January. Like it was too much happening.
January was strife, man. I mean, you got everything from political upheaval, you got everything from, people personal issues. Man, I was telling my mom the other day, I done lived through things I never would have imagined would be issues. Like three planes falling out the sky in the same week. In the same week, as rare as plane crashes are. People who be scared to fly, they always tell you, oh, well, you're 20 times or 100 times as,
Likely to
likely
die
to
in a car
die in a car
accident or something like
crash.
yeah.
Yeah, only for it to be three plane crashes in 1 week. So he's like, should I just walk? Should I just walk? Like, because that means the car can't be safe neither. So it's just kind of like, it has already been quite the trying year. We thought 2024 was the year of exposing. 2025 said hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? Got off to, different exposing type stuff. I made a little clip about that because I feel like in a lot of these situations, and let me clarify too for anybody who's seen the clip and kind of took me sideways. Like I said, I'm not here to judge all the people being quote unquote exposed, but I'm damn sure not here to defend them. Some people I believe is guilty of everything people say that they're guilty of. Nonetheless, my issue is not the people who, have the courage to come and tell the truth. My issue is the people who only seem to have this courage after they fall out with the person. Sonny, if you doing some wicked stuff behind the scenes, you know, we cool, we pod link Philly up. But I'm not waiting till pod link Philly dissolve, or I'm not waiting till I get kicked out of pod link Philly for me to turn around and be like, Sonny was doing so forth and so on, right? Yeah, Sonny owed me bread, so I'm gonna let y'all know how Sonny did so forth and so on. Or, I'm not waiting till after you get locked up. Reese, what's going on, bro? I'm not waiting till after you finally get caught and locked up to be like, yeah. And the whole time I knew she was doing so forth and so on. Like, that's really crazy to me. Like those people who
Yeah.
be on the documentaries, who, you know what I
But I
mean,
think
for
it's
all these
too
people, I think something wrong with you. I think you an accomplice. I look at you as an accomplice. And I
I
said
do
last week
too
on the
to an
episode
extent.
that you was in on the heist. You in on the heist and you just don't like your cut. That's why now you want to come out and say something. And that's really shady to me, and I can't respect that. I can't respect that.
I don't know. I look at it like too. Like I from to an extent an accomplice, absolutely right. But I feel like a lot of people are comfortable with coming out. Like I said, people come out and tell lies. People come out to get a check. People come out for a lot of different reasons. So the intent is very is it can be problematic, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you're not telling the truth. It's just the intention of
Right.
how it's done and when it's done will always cause a problem and always raise a red flag and have somebody give you a side eye.
Hmm.
But with the afterwards aside, a lot of these people were well, some from my knowledge were in NDA situations, so they couldn't, right? So they waited
Hmm.
for however long they were able to speak about certain different things. I do feel like it's almost like for me, it's almost like you date a guy, everything was great, right? And all of a sudden y'all broke up, and now I don't know if I can say this. His stuff is
Go ahead.
little. You never like it.
Hey,
He ain't know this. That's like the go to. It was little anyway, or he said the pussy
Sonny,
was
I made a
trash.
post about this back in January. I made a post about this back in January, and I actually mentioned it on episode 63. I
Really?
actually asked that question. Yes, I actually asked women that question, how they get in long-term relationships with dudes whose sex apparently was never good. Like, but
See,
now when you
then that's
broke
a
up,
catch
now you
twenty.
want to tell everybody how bad it is, how little it is. But you was with
Yeah.
him for 2, 3 years. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then it doesn't even make sense because first of all, like it's almost like a dude trashing a female.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work out in the long term. You don't know why? Because you
Nope.
talking so much smack that somebody else gonna see if you really lying and telling the truth. Somebody gonna find out. So whether or not they
You
really
look
was
crazy.
bad or not like that, you look crazy either way. So like for me,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I could not like you from like it's people that I can say I was in relationships with long term that probably was very great, but like fuck you, I don't like you no more. But at the same time, I'm not going to say this was trash, this was that. Now it still was good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like one of the dudes that I used to do, he had the best head of his life. I don't know who taught him how to do it, but it was the best I've ever had in my entire life. So at one point in my life. So will I always remember that year? But at the end of the day, he was an ain't shit nigga. And he showed it. So I'm never gonna say, oh, the sex was bad. It could have been bad, but his hair was amazing. So whatever. So like at
Right.
the end of the point, you stayed. So whether or not
Mm-hmm.
you say I'm trash or whatever, I didn't know what I was doing. You taught me whatever. You stayed. So at the end of the day, and then you look like you got egg on your face because what if you end up getting back with that person? You
Yep.
done talk so much shit and now you back with them.
Yep.
So I for me personally, I steer clear of that. I'm more likely to talk about somebody I just hunched on at a period of time I didn't give a flying rat's ass about and say, or bad experiences with people that I attempted to and it was just like that was just some bullshit. Yeah, I'm more likely to talk about that than to talk about somebody I actually in a relationship with because for me, and this is for me personally, I gave a fuck enough about you to be with you, right?
Right.
So I'm never going to. I can say you a piece of shit. You did some foul shit to me, but I'm not going to
Right.
say, oh, this was bad. This was this, and this, that, and third. It just was what it was. Like
Right.
I'm more likely to say that dude was a punk. I dated a punk, a big
Right.
teddy bear punk. Like he was bigger than a lot of other people, and he was a punk.
Right.
I was more rowdy than he was. Like when shit went left, I was the person popping
Mm-hmm.
off, and like you supposed to be. So like my current boyfriend now, he be like, why you be going off? I'm like, because I'm used to dealing with not all, but for some of the people I dealt with, like they were card carrying nerds. These dudes wasn't fighting. They like I just loved them, so it didn't like it wasn't like I relationship with him. I loved him, but like I didn't. He couldn't protect me like physically. No. He. I mean, stature wise, you would think, but not really. So, but like at the end of the day, I was there.
Ace,
So,
what up, bro?
but like I just feel like when
Yeah,
you go that route, it just makes me side eye you. But as far as just
absolutely.
exposing, it's just like and whether or not stuff is true, the intention behind and the motive in which you do these things makes you look problematic. It could be true to the thousandth degree true.
Yes.
You got receipts and everything.
Yes.
And guess what? It just makes you look like crazy. Like I said, I went on a 5 hour date out of hell, and I came home and I tell everybody that story. Yo, this man took me out on a date. I think he messed it up for all Philly people at that point. That man took me
Oh
on a five
man.
hour date, and and then
My
he
man
told me that
says you was getting head in the whip and not crashing it.
no, he was no, it was a 5 hour date of nothingness. This man talked about his ex girlfriend the entire time. He it was a lot of stuff that he did on that date, and like if anybody knows me, I don't go anywhere where I can't get home on my own, even though I don't
Smart.
drive. I'm a professional passenger, but
Smart.
I was trying to be nice because I'm very I'm not short with people when I'm on a dating scene, but I just feel like I don't expect much. but certain things it's just like I would like he was talking about. I'm like, so this what we doing on a date. Like I'm supposed to get to know you, and we're gonna talk about. Not going to tell you the story. And I'm like, because it was funny enough. He watched my podcast, Sex and Sunny, and we were talking about side chicks. I don't know what episode we were talking about, the side chicks episode, and he had some stuff to say about that because he was a side dude, and
Okay.
he already called me before the date, night before the date, to talk about it, and then he got upset because I don't think he liked the fact that I was, first of all, I'm a podcaster. So, I don't have no problem with speaking my mind and telling stuff. And I don't have to involve emotion. It's just, this is what it is. Like,
Right.
Were you a side chick at one point? I was. I probably was the best side chick that dude ever had because I was not trying to be seen, known, nothing. It was just, I was younger then and we had an understanding of what it was and it was nothing more than that.
Right.
But you wanted to explain why you was a side dude and like how it went left because both y'all were messy. So you want to have a conversation. You had a conversation, and then I specifically said, let's not talk about this on the date because this was the night before the date, right?
Okay.
So on the date, now you want to talk about like you kept in the car, you want to play music, you keep switching the station. I don't know if you're nervous or not, because I'm like, this is our first time meeting each other. Like we're talking like phone conversation. Somebody had set us up. So me meeting you for the first time type of thing. We talked, but never met each other. So I'm like, well, maybe he's nervous. He didn't expect me. So,
might be better what he was looking for.
Yeah, and I put some effort into how I looked. We went out and and maybe he was nervous. So I'm like, okay. So I just took it as he was nervous, so he kept switching the station. So I'm like, okay. So we're not gonna listen to anything. It's just, and then when he started talking and I would talk, he would turn the music up. So I'm like, okay, so now we're just not talking. Okay. Now I live in Jersey. I know Philly. I've been out in Philly many of the times. So he's asking me, where do I want to go? You asked me on a date, bro.
Yeah, you should have that idea ready already.
Then he's telling me, oh, what the Philly relays is today, blah blah blah. Then he's saying some other stuff, and I'm like, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. Like I got a babysitter till this time. Like everybody knows I have an autistic son, so I don't have a lot of time. Like so he riding around. This is hour one. We riding around Philly, and then he randomly pulls over to get some gas at some gas station. I don't know where we were at in Philly because I have never been on this part of Philly. But he turned off of some random street, got out the car, and left me in it. So I'm like, okay, I don't know where the fuck we're at. It's starting to get a little dark. I don't really know where we're at, and it's just not being safe. And he comes back with juices, and he asks me, "Do I want a juice?" I'm like, I mean, I guess I don't know what's happening. So now we're in hour two because he's sitting there. He asked me, "Where do I want to go?" So long story short, we get to the restaurant. We drive around Philly for 2 hours to only end up going. Guess where we went?
Where you went, back to Jersey?
South Street.
Oh, South Street.
One of the little crash spot off of the side street. So
yep.
We go there. I can't think of the name of it right now, but we go there. So he in there. So the lady come over and she like, I'm like, let me go to the bathroom. And she's like, okay, I'll come back get y'all a drink. So everybody know me. I'm a Long Island girl. This already been 2 hours of bullshit. So I'm like, all right. When I come back today, I'm like, let me get a top shelf Long Island double shot. And he like, oh. So he order whatever he ordering. So, and I'm one of them people I'm one of them girls that I'm not going to spend more than what I would spend for two people, right? I'm not that. I ain't trying to be a pocket situation, but I'm gonna get my Long Island. If anything else, I'm gonna get my Long Island. So I got that. Okay. He starts talking to me about him being a side dude and this girl. So I'm like, do you really want that to be our conversation on our first date?
On our first date.
And he like, no, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. So I'm like, this is what you want to be the topic of our first date. And he is adamant that he wants to tell me about this. I say, okay, when that girl brought me my Long Island, I sat there with my straw and it was like this. Go ahead, because obviously you just want to
you got to get it off your chest, right?
So he's telling me the story that I already knew from the beginning of the story the night before that it was a bunch of bullshit and mess. He done got shot.
Sheesh.
It's a whole bunch of shit. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to, this is not the date that I want to be on with
Yeah,
this.
shot being a side dude is crazy.
So
Shout out to
yeah,
my man Saeed. He made a song about that. It didn't happen to him in real life. Let me put that out there, but he made a song about that.
no, it's the whole. That story was crazy. I can't even like. I can remember it verbatim because that's how hard he was telling me the story. But long story short, at the end of the thing, we get to order our food while he's telling me the story still, and I'm eating my food, trying to like actively not really listen, but like listening, like shake my head because so they I want to be at least like. And then
Yeah.
he tells me he stops and says, "I'm having a good time," and I said, "I bet you are." Sitting there
Well, at least
eating,
one of us is.
yeah. So then the check comes. He picks up his phone and says, he calls somebody and tell me he's calling his son to tell his son to send him his money. So that where I hear Mel's voice because the phone is loud and he hangs up and then he looks at the bill and I'm just like, well, do you want me to pay for it? Because at this point, I don't know. Like, are you waiting for him to send money to you? Like, what's happening right now?
That's
Because
insane.
I could just pay for this and we could just go. Like, I don't even need this right now. So he ended up paying. We leave. He make a comment as we're leaving about the bill, and then we get in the car, and he's like, yeah, this is a really great date, blah blah blah. I'm just looking at him like, okay, whatever. So we get in the car, and then he like, well, I guess you can control the radio. So I'm playing songs I want to play. So I turn on my Jagged Edge, and then because he got this playlist, I'm playing songs that I want to hear, and then he
Hmm.
just starts singing about let's get married and blah blah blah. So you know how I'm looking at him like sideways because like, bro, this is like the bad date. I'm just being cordial because this is a horrible date. This is 3 hours of this is like 3.5 hours of bullshit, right? So we're going down the highway. His phone is ringing, but like you know how your phone is connected to your car.
Hmm.
All right, so it rings. He looks at it. He doesn't press hang up. He doesn't answer. He just puts the phone down and start looking all nervous and shifty. So I'm
Oh
tell
man.
me why that phone rung 4 more times.
Come
So
on.
by the third
What?
time it rung, I just looked at him. I said, "You want to answer her?"
You gotta answer
Well,
that.
no,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
obviously you she. I said, because at this point now you got me. So I'm like, at this point you don't want to hang up on her because she knows it's a fucking problem. It's a goddamn problem if you hang up on whoever this is calling. He answered the phone. Why you not answering the phone? Because I'm driving. I'm looking at the thing. So mind you, this is my friend said, "Yo, you the illest." Because I let him. I could have interjected and said anything because he's gonna speak it, dummy. He's gonna speak it.
Right.
I could have said anything anytime to fuck your whole life up. But I sat there the whole time looking at him like this while he's having this conversation, and I'm smirking and cracking up because like I know you like now I already know what type of time I'm on.
We already
So
know where it's at.
I need you to know what time I'm about to be on. So he studied, talked, and he like, all right, I'll call you back. She's like, you want to get your kids? And your kids calling you, you're not answering your kids. His kids are grown. So he like, all right, I'm gonna call. She's like, all right, bye, and she hang up the phone. And I said, is that the girl from the phone from the conversation we talked about all night? No, that's another girl. Oh, so you got a whole another one. Oh, okay. So he like, he said, I forget what he said to me, and I'm just like, hey, yo, bro, this, I said, that's out of control. And I said, he's like, nah, I apologize. We was having a great date. Who said we was having a great date? Oh, okay. So we get finally back to my house. He does no, not to my house. He beelines it to this liquor store a ways away from my house, cross town. So I live in West, and he's all the way out east side, a borderline south. Well, Wilbur section, out South Train. And he pulled over
Hmm.
to this side street, this main street, with his crackhead sitting on this thing. And he goes across the liquor store telling me he about to get me a bottle of this wine he want me to try because he think I'll like it and we'll do it for our next date. What next date, bro? What next
The
date, bro?
next date.
Who said
He
they going
called it
on a second
already.
date? He goes into the store, comes out the bottle. He done saw some crackhead friend that just got home from jail. That man is having a 20-minute conversation with this man on the phone. He done took the keys out the car. Thank God he rolled the window down.
That's crazy.
I'm sitting there and I call my people. She like, where are you at? I said, on the side of whatever the street I was on while he talking to a crackhead. She said, what? I said, let me
Why
call
he
you on
talking to a
video.
crackhead?
I called her on video. I put the phone out the window and she looking at me like, yo, are you serious? Yo, we on hour 5. Then he dropped me off trying to get a hug and a kiss. Excuse me, sir. First of all, I don't kiss people. I don't even kiss. So don't even try that. well, why are you trying to hug me? So
Because he
then,
had a great time. He rocked with you.
right? So then he texted me later talking, yeah, we had a great time because we going on a date too. And I said to him, I don't know what in the world makes you think that this first date was great. I don't know what date you on. I think we were on two
He
separate
was
dates.
winning. He was
I said,
winning.
I don't know what dates you thought we were on as a unit, but we was on two separate dates. So he gets mad. Well, maybe I'm not the man you want. You looking for something, and you want a lot out of me that I'm not. Like I just met you. I'm not willing to give. First of all, I want common
That's
courtesy and decency. Excuse
crazy.
me. You keep calling yourself
That's
a grown
crazy.
man. You out here talking about your ex girlfriend, and you got the whole other ex girlfriend you lying to, saying you didn't answer because you with the GPS. You lucky.
Oh man.
I said, how scared were you that I was gonna say something? He was like, and he was like, well, you have the
Yeah.
best life because
Scared
obviously
money.
I'm not the type of man you're looking for to date. I thought I was genuine. Genuinely stupid, yes, absolutely. A good date, you absolutely weren't.
Oh man, let
But
me get to
that was a
some of these
5 date.
comments because that
Yeah.
was an amazing story. You had people on the edge of their seats.
Hell. That's a 5 days to
Ace
hell.
earlier
$5 date.
said you was talking about the dude with the gray head. Boy said Ace, my man Ace said you was in the whip in the head, not crashing it. Myron said, "I'ma always remember that head as a crazy quote." Ace said you probably have him save his best head Larry in your phone.
Nah, he not even in my phone. I don't call that man. Mm-mm. He not
Oh
saving my
man.
phone. He's not in my phone. He don't got my number. I don't got his. If I see
Taya
him, I'll
said
say hi.
Taya said y'all need to do a dating stories pod.
That part.
That sounds like some good
I got some
content.
dating. Oh, I got some dating stories. I got some more stories outside of that one.
That sounds like some good content. Apparently, there
Yes.
was a slight misunderstanding between Ace and Taya in the in the chat where he thought she was bad bashing, but she was just talking about, she agrees with you in terms of not, trying to wear run nobody pockets, not asking your date to
Yeah.
spend what you wouldn't spend.
Yeah.
Um, Myra said, date sounds great so far. What you mean?
That man was talking about that girl. That man got shot. The man
Ace
threatened him.
said,
There's a lot of
Ace
stuff
said,
happening.
if you would have said something when his girl was on the phone, you would have been left at the bus stop with your plate of crabs.
Oh no, I don't even eat crabs like that. Oh no, I could. My homegirl was on standby. She would have came and got me,
My man
or I would
Myra
have called the
said,
Uber.
my man Myra said, that was his cousin. Chill, yo. That's my cousin. And then Ace said, you don't kiss people. Nah, what's this? 1934?
No, no, no. So let me say this. I do like kissing. I'm a great kisser. I just don't kiss everybody. And out of the only people that like, it's people that I'd have kissed that I'm not in a relationship with. But like, I don't just kiss people. Like, there's none of that. I think kissing is overrated.
Ooh,
It's not overrated. It's more intimate than I think you can intimate. How do I say this? I feel like kissing is more intimate than fucking. If that makes sense.
okay.
Because you really can't hide how you feel when you kiss somebody. Like I'm one of them people. If I kiss you, you gonna know how like you. It's a feeling that I get when I kiss people, or when people kiss me. So like I don't just do that with everybody. Like of course I'm in a relationship right now, so yes I do kiss him. But
I'm
like
about to
as
say,
you talk about like
it
as
might
a
sound
42
weird
year old
coming from a
person,
married man, but I wholly agree with you.
yeah. But I feel like yeah, and as a 42-year-old woman, I don't like. It's not too many people that could say that they was in a relationship with me and I actually kissed them. I remember one of my exes used to always like, give me a kiss, and I'm like, yeah. Like I want people don't ask me for a kiss. Don't make it obvious that you're trying to kiss me. I'm like, what are you doing? Not
Oh
one of those
man.
things. But I'm not like that. I'm not one of the people that you will ever see outside just randomly with some random person like tonguing them. Like, it's never. I'm not even the PDA. Y'all seen this night? Me and my boyfriend be at the podcast. We don't be like, yeah, I'll touch his back and stuff, but like I don't be like, baby, come here. Like if we drunk, then whole different situation. But we both not really big PDA people, but like it doesn't take away from that. But like I'm not that person, let alone be just kissing people. I don't kiss everybody.
No, I actually get what you mean. I know people gonna think that's weird coming from me, but yeah, yeah. Kissing gotta
Yeah,
mean like I'm into you to be
yeah, and
kissing.
it's crazy because people be like, oh no, you actually know how to kiss. Oh no, I do. I just don't kiss everybody.
Fair enough. All right, we got people here, so let's let's get into the topic now. Ken, you asked what we were talking about earlier, and you were one of the people that I had in mind while we were having a side conversation before we got into the topic. Because I know some people come later on, and I didn't want you to miss the actual topic that we got here together for. And that topic is protecting our boys the way we protect our daughters, our
Yes.
girls.
Oh, I should have put my
Uh,
shirt on that say that. Oh my God, I gotta. We have a
I didn't know you had that
radio.
shirt.
So we have a GFT radio shirt that says "Protect our boys like we protect our girls." It's one of my old podcast mates. He said it, but because we were talking, like I said, when we
Hmm.
talked about the conversation, we had this conversation about
Hmm.
that, like briefly on our show about protecting our boys. And then we actually made a shirt because I felt like that was like a when I was doing our merch, I made one of those shirts because it's a valid thing.
It's an
Like
important message.
it's an important message. I think people don't think about that in the way that
Hmm.
they need to. So that's why I feel like this conversation is definitely dope.
Hmm. Get into more of what you feel like as far as what led you to this point where we ended up having this conversation.
Um, because I don't know, did I tell you we did a show on Sex with Sunny about approaching sex after abuse
I think
or
you might
sexual
have.
assault?
I think you
Okay.
did.
So we were talking about that, and I think me and you were talking about how men approach sex,
Hmm.
um, and not really understanding like status quo is that a boy could lose their virginity to somebody grown or a girl that's much older than them, right, or a couple of years older than them. Um,
Hmm.
and you got some boys that lost their virginity as early as 7, some earlier than that, but the standard age that we see it a lot is like 14, 13 in that
Yeah.
area. And it's probably with somebody that's 19, 18 in that area, and it's acceptable. Like it's like a
Early
boy's rite of
20s.
passage to, yeah, it's a boy's rite of passage to, like, especially with fathers, they want to make sure, and not that all fathers are like this, but I guess the general consensus is we want to make sure our boys aren't gay, right?
Right. Pretty
So
much.
we want to make sure that they're having sex with women. So you'll see not necessarily having sex, but introducing them to sex, porn, taking them
Hmm.
to a strip show, being
Hmm.
around strippers and stuff like stuff like that, or just want to make
Hmm.
sure that they use it the right way and that they're on the right track, if that makes sense. So
Right.
where they don't understand the trauma behind that. So this is why you have men that sexualize women, like they can't see them outside of just sex, everything,
Hmm.
like yeah, like it's something so simple as saying like something so small, like where some men get to that ideal of um feeling superiority over women, that women can't do stuff like those, to something so similar, small as that, to look at
Hmm.
them like a sexual being and not really knowing, not really getting to know the female as a person. So
Right.
everything about them is you can't see nothing but sex, and it's traumatic because you see a lot of men not really understanding, not, I don't want to say understanding sex, but like understanding sex in the whole as far as pleasure. They understand it that they're supposed to get pleased,
Right.
so they're not all, because I'm saying this but not saying all, right?
Right.
So
Of course.
take that as a blanket statement. I'm not talking about all, because I don't want, that's my disclaimer as everything that I say from now on.
Does
But
not
it's just
apply to
like they
everybody.
don't,
Right.
yeah, like they
But they
don't
say if it don't apply, let it fly.
that part. But like they look at it as like they don't understand the trauma upon it. So it's almost like when you see um like I don't know how familiar you are with the Mary Kay Turner story. She was dating the little boy Billy, and she ended up getting
John, what
pregnant
up,
by
bro?
him. And
Yeah, I remember that.
he like, I love her, and
Yeah,
how do you tell him that he's a victim because he really loves this person?
because he really loves her. Yep.
Because this older person took advantage of him. So his warped reality is that this is okay and it's not. So
Hmm.
the world looks at him like it's a statutory situation, and it is.
It
But
is.
to that child, it's, I love this person. It's nothing
Yep.
wrong.
And
And
she
so I feel
loves
like
me.
a lot of our boys get traumatized to the point where they're either assaulted by women, and I think that they need to look at women as predators, which they don't. They don't. They just see a woman and like, no, like that's like I seen the episode of SVU, and the parolee was getting sexually assaulted, forced to have sex with his parole officer, which was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they said, "Well, you a big tall man. What do you mean?"
Yep.
And he was like, "Well, she keeps threatening to violate me and send me back to jail, and that means I got to finish out the rest of my 8 years in jail, and I don't want to do that." So it's not. He's looked at as, "What do you mean? She wanted you, you ain't want none?" And it's like, it's why are we okay with women doing that and looking down on the men or boys that say this woman assaulted me
Right.
because they're a man or they're a boy? You're stronger. You could have said no, or what, you don't want the pussy, she throwing it at you. Like, no, I
Yep.
really
Yep.
don't want it. And now you don't force them into sex too early, and now their whole life is fucked up. They don't even know how to respond to women. They don't know how to conduct themselves with the women. That's why you get people that do you get people that sometimes get assaulted and do the assaulting
Mm-hmm.
after. Not everybody does that, or you get people that don't know how to cope in life and be messed up, either
Mm-hmm.
over sexualized, selling themselves. You get the
Yep.
boys that are raped by men that question their sexuality, not realizing that your body is, and that's what all sexual assault people. You sometimes your body reacts even if you don't want it, and it's not to say that
Right.
you wanted it.
Right.
So like it's a mental mind fuck, and I'm speaking from experience. It's a mental mind fuck of, did I really want it? Did I do something to say X, Y, Z? And then understanding the trauma behind it. So when, as for females, when we look at sex after being a sexual assault, it's a lot that we deal with and we get triggered. Who's to say that our boys aren't the same? This is why you got some boys that don't initiate sex. They got to wait for the girl to initiate it because
Yep.
it feels that's the only way they know, because this
Yeah.
woman initiated it, so they don't even know. They, or just over sexualized. So it's a lot.
It
I'm
is.
sorry,
It is.
I've been rambling, but yeah.
No, no, no. I brought you on here to talk you talking. You hear me? I'll drop a couple of comments before I say my part. Um, Kane said, to protect boys, you have to have a man teach him. Women have a really hard time to teach a boy how to protect himself, where sexually boys need to be sexually experienced more than our precious girls. Mm.
See, I
Men
don't
who
like that
dated,
statement.
I'm gonna address it after I mention
Yeah.
Ty's comment. Men who dated older women as kids have issues dealing with women their own age. Yeah, that you do see some of
Or
that.
you get
That's a
the
good
men
point, Ty.
that date little girls.
Yeah, yeah,
They
because
first
they want to shift the
18 and
power
you 30
dynamic.
years old dating an 18-year-old. Come on.
Yeah, some of them do that because they want to shift the power dynamic because it started off, their sexual experience started off with them being on the ass end of the power dynamic. So now they
Yeah.
always want to be, on the top end of it. To go back to speak to Kane's point, I'm gonna bring it up, put it back on screen again, just so we can make sure it's properly worded. As he said it, to protect
Yeah.
boys, you have to have a man teach him. Women have a really hard time to teach a boy how to protect himself, where sexually boys need to be sexually experienced more than our precious girls. So I'm gonna address this from, and of course, Ken, you could correct me if I'm wrong in how I interpret your phrase. Especially the back part where you said, you know, sexually boys need to be more experienced than our precious girls. Um, the so I understand from a societal standpoint we're expected to be more experienced, right? Women don't want, like how dudes will say they want a virgin, women don't want a virgin male. They don't want a dude who
I want
doesn't
it.
know what you
I listen.
you
I
know
want
you in the
negotiating
minority.
experience.
You
I
you
want
you know you
negotiating
in the
experience.
minority. You know you in the minority. Most women don't want a dude who don't know what he's doing from jump. That's just a fact. She wants a dude who knows. That's why I'm explaining. That's why I'm explaining the last sentence entire because I realized a lot of people wasn't going to get it. So he's talking about in the long term of it because boys have to turn into men. Unfortunately, right? As a man and as a man raising boys, we get fast tracked to teaching our boys to be men so much sooner, right? Like girls get taught these kind of things, and yeah, they could come back to it when they're women, but not all girls are forced, into womanhood right off rip. Um, Whereas in boys oftentimes are being raised to be men before they get the time to continue being boys. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Yeah.
everything from this false sense of toughness, this false sense of strength and bravado, all that stuff is instilled in you very, very young before you get to finish even living out your childhood. So those sexual expectations are placed on you very early as a male, like from being 12, and you got 2 more years to get some coochie before they start making fun of you and calling you
Yeah.
gay and all those other kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So societal pressures, peer pressure, on top of if you like another girl, that girl also probably doesn't want a virgin to be her first time. Like she wants to think that this is going to be the best experience she'll ever have. And if she finds out that you don't know what you're doing, you know what I mean? It could cost you the girl you want. I'm speaking from experience that there was girls that really liked me. I was like, yeah, she likes me. And she found out I was a virgin and she went the other way. Like, like I like you. That was
That's
literally the
terrible.
thing. I like you, but you're a virgin. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's fix that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's tend to that problem. And they like, no, I don't, I don't want to be your first time. Like,
Yeah.
and one girl, she also was one, and she was like, I don't want you to be my first time. I want my first time to be with a guy who's going to, you know, walk me through the process, help me experience, so forth and so on. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Oh, he's agreeing with me. So clearly I'm saying, expressing what
What
he's
he
trying to
what
get
yeah.
across. So
Yeah.
because I know it looked real crazy. I'm experienced dealing with
No,
this
I'm just
particular
saying.
friend
I
where
the
it
second
sound
part was a
crazy at
little. The
first.
first part threw me off. The first part threw
Yeah,
me off.
yeah, and that's what I figured. The first part would throw everybody off, and it would need some further explanation. I figured the end part of the sentence would help clarify the top part of the sentence where he
Yeah.
said it's harder. Now, I don't know. Now, well, I will slightly disagree. Is I think a woman, as far as being able to make her son understand that he's sexually valued, I think a woman could do that as much as a boy. Now, I do think it's more potent if a guy does it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's
Yeah,
far
because
more
I
potent
hate that
if a
narrative that we
man
can't
does it.
raise them to a certain standard. Yes, we can't teach them to be a man, but we can teach
Right,
them like core values, like just
right.
having a conversation of, baby, listen, I know you're gonna go out there and do X, Y, Z as you get older, especially when you get to a teenage years. You might be have under these phones and hear these things. Like just want to protect our son because I have an 11-year-old, right?
Hmm.
He's
It's very
autistic,
crazy. Very crazy.
but I would want him to learn from me that, I yes, of course I can't teach him to be a man, but I would tell him like, these are things. If you're gonna do this type of thing, like I will explain to you what I can explain to you, and then tell you, make sure that you understand that no means no,
Hmm.
and to make sure because I think that's another way we gotta protect our boys. They need to understand no means no. It's
And that's
like
okay.
because you don't want like I'm sorry, my son is 11 and autistic. I would hate for him to have that type of experience and then somebody say that he done did XYZ. Now we in a whole nother set of things. So I think yes, it would
Absolutely.
be super helpful for him to have a male figure that's putting instilling him these things. But also as a mom, I'm gonna say, listen, make sure you got your T's and cross your I's. No means no. Don't do anything. Don't.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell my son always wear a condom because STDs are real and
Always.
pregnancy is real. And people love is a beautiful word, but no. Like I'm gonna say that,
Exactly.
but I'm also say, Dad, you got to say this. Like talk to him because we don't need him up in here bringing no baby and not really understanding what's happening. I don't want to be taking my baby to a clinic and he's 13 for an
Hmm.
STD. I don't want
Hmm.
any of those things. So yes, I'm gonna talk to you and say the stuff that I feel like you need to know. But I don't want to get hung up on the ideal that we can't do it because we're women and we're moms and we don't know what it is to be a man. No, we don't know what it is to be a man, but we also know how to protect our babies to an extent as far as letting them know and having a conversation that they, make sure they understand how to protect themselves in that manner.
And I think also it's important to have a woman's input in that sense because the same way dudes understand boys, women understand girls. So it would be good for a boy. I wish my mom could have would have had certain conversation with me about how girls operate, how girls are taught to manipulate, how girls can be tricky and shifty. You know what I'm saying? How girls are sometimes even so confused. You know what I'm saying? Like they doing the stuff they do because they saw somebody else or that's what they used to seeing around them, but they also don't even understand why they're doing what they're doing. So while
Yeah,
I'm sitting here trying to figure this girl out, she hasn't figured herself out.
that's why
Um,
we
you
still trying
know,
to. It's a lot,
even
especially being young. That pressure of you being a virgin. Don't nobody want a virgin. You don't know what you're doing. You
hmm
inexperienced. Like this, a lot of things. As I remember growing up as a teen, a teenager, and a lot of stuff. I in high school we had we had this little group called VKP, Virgin Click Posse. I was the last standing member. But I started out great. Ninth grade, we was going, and then by 10th grade, not so much. People was going. I was like, they're
yeah, I
like, you ain't
imagine.
do it yet. I'm like, no. But for me personally, I wish my first time experience would have been not what it was and something else.
hmm
Because like for me personally, that's when I got assaulted. That's how I lost mine. I didn't get the I would have loved the disorganization of not really knowing what I'm doing with the boy my
Right.
age and not really getting. I would have loved that, or even had a boy who was maybe experienced but not super experienced. But I didn't get that, so mine is shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Right.
But my reality, and it's funny for me because now because I'm thinking circling back to this conversation.
Right.
I got assaulted by somebody completely years and years older than me, adult, like uncle status adult, right? Not my uncle,
Damn.
but uncle status vibes, right?
Right.
And I don't date people. I rarely date people my age. Most of the people I date are older than me.
hmm
So, like, is
So
it
you see the
something with
impact, you see the
me
connection. Yeah.
that, and this is why when we had this conversation on my podcast and talking about these things, this is why I say, like, because even when I talked about this, my one of my male podcast mates was on this. And like to my point of this conversation is him understanding he was a victim
hmm
at the big age he is now, not realizing this. And it's like, and I was talking to my boyfriend too. We talked about this topic many a times. And I was explaining to him like why, like my stance on that. I feel like boys that were assaulted, it's that shame. It's a lot of things, especially when it's a man. But when it's women, it's just a different type of shame, right? Because like
hmm
you're saying this woman was a predator, and like women are considered weak and docile. We're not aggressors or that dominant person. That we're not looked at as that, right? So, and I'm like, these experiences that you have, like, because we talked about it, and I talk about it with a lot of people, not just him, like most of the people, like when we had this conversation, and it's like, that's why I said the range of age, what they lost their virginity, and the age and range of the people that they were dealing with, it's just sad because, like, it makes me understand them on a level that, like, okay, so now I see why certain things.
Yeah.
Like, cause I got
Yeah.
a real good friend of mine now, but like I understand him a little bit better as to why he's so
The
and
way he is. Yeah.
at the big age he is, he's so jaded, and it's just like you need to
hmm
go to therapy
Yeah.
because
Gotta heal.
you because that like because we're having this conversation. And I don't think you realize that you're a victim, and how do you tell somebody and make them feel like a victim?
Exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't translate, right? It's almost like
It's hard to
going
tell
through.
somebody who think they won that they're a victim.
Yeah, but then when you look at their behavior, like their conversation, they're dealing with the women that they deal with, and then a
hmm
lot of these people turn into that's when you see a lot of womanizers
Yeah.
because
Yes. Yes.
they done been through some shit. They done like ask them how they lost their virginity, ask them like I know one of my friends I went to school with, parent used to do certain things in front of them, and it's like this is your mom. Like how
Yeah.
you reconcile that this is your introduction, not necessarily she was doing anything to him or like,
Right.
but it's
But
just
just
certain
it was
things she was
happening in
doing
his
around
presence.
him that he was able
Yeah.
to see, and it's just like there's certain things like it's a lot. So it's just like I remember growing up seeing stuff that I shouldn't have seen, not necessarily in my house, but like going to friends'
Right.
houses and seeing. I'm like, oh shit! Like my mom, Mike ain't play that. My mom
Right.
was a lot of things. She ain't play them type of games. She was old school, old school. She'll slap the hell out of you about a lot of stuff. And just certain things she was never gonna
Facts.
do. You were never gonna see her do. Even if that's what she was doing, you would never,
You would know. Yeah.
like, never seeing it. And like I'm going to friends' house and their mom out here. Just, oh, okay, this what we're doing. Oh, okay. Um, so nobody cares. Like we act like we
Right.
don't see this. And but
Right.
like I was in a household where I didn't, that wasn't
You
normal
didn't
for me.
witness none of
So
that. Right.
it was a red flag for me, and I'm like, now I know why this person is this way. Like, because you start to
Hmm.
understand, not necessarily in that moment because I was young, but like looking back on it
Yeah,
now,
no, you
it
look
makes
back.
sense of why these people were the way they were. And like, my mom was strict as fuck. She didn't play with us. So and for me to be strict, so when I finally got outside, I got outside. And I blame my mom for me getting
Hmm.
pregnant with my daughter. Cause she was like, you always in the house, you don't go nowhere, you just be at school and work and you don't go nowhere. I went outside and got pregnant, mom. It's your fault. Cause I graduated. But like, see, but I'm talking about somebody that I was bad. I was a problematic kid in school, but I was book smart, right? So even though I
Hmm.
was getting kicked out for fighting and doing fighting teachers and everybody and just hitting security guards, there was a lot of stuff that I was doing that was unproductive.
Damn,
But yeah, I fought the teacher
young
and everything.
Sonny
It was
was
very bad.
wild.
Yeah, I was. That's why I said. That's why I'm saying me from now is not the me who was. I was a loose cannon. But I'm so much calm and relaxed now. But I was like a straight A student, even though I was out here wilding, right? So I
Hmm.
graduated a year early. Like they kicked me out
Okay.
of school for fighting two teachers in 1 year. They was like, no, you can't. You've been doing this at every school. You gotta get the hell out of here. We're gonna send you to the other school. You already passed your HSBC, so you gotta take your SAT and you get out of here. You go to school for 4 hours, and hopefully you don't. If you hit anybody in that school, we're expelling you. So I was in school for 4 hours. I ain't went. So I did what I needed to do. I graduated with my brother a year early. So I had a
Okay.
whole college year, and then the year at that, my mom was like, "You don't never do nothing. You don't never do nothing." I went outside and got pregnant, and I had my daughter at 19. See, mom, if you had left me alone, I blame her. Rest in peace, mom. But like, I always blame her because I was in the house and working to go to school. I wasn't even thinking about that. I mean, I was dating, but I wasn't really trying to be up in nobody's
Yeah.
face. But it's my mom's fault. I had my first baby, so that's my story,
Kane
and I'm
came
sticking
back
to it.
to Kane came back to clarify his statements. So
Okay.
he said, I'm not saying women can't do it. I'm saying that I have a friend that's trying to make her son feel as if he's the prize and he shouldn't be, in simple terms, a hoe. He should keep his
He is
penis
the
to
prize.
himself. But she's looking at that like a woman and not as a young man in his teenage adult years. Most teenage boys are trying to be the man. Um, Sex is a prerequisite to being a man. If you're having sex as a young man, where most boys aren't, you're the man. I'm gonna put that
Yeah.
on screen because that's what I was talking about. That I myself
That's the society
experienced.
stuff. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you have that your whole as a male, you're just your whole being at a certain point is surrounded by sexual things. So much
Yeah.
less for you to come into a situation where there's an older girl putting sex on the table for you before you're ready for it, or
He's
even
just like,
worse,
nah, girl, I don't want that.
she's not even just putting it on the table. She's like on top of your table and pulling you by the
Busting it
tablecloth
wide open.
into it. You know what I'm saying? Like you was minding your business playing Nintendo, and all of a sudden she got
Yeah,
the
throwing it at you.
controller, you know what I'm saying, in her cleavage, and like man, you want to
Hey,
play this
yo.
instead. You
Hey,
know what
yo,
I'm
I'm
saying?
done. I am done.
You thought you was
I
playing
am.
PlayStation. Yeah, I mean, she hit you with the tip drill joint and swipe the game dicks down. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo, I'm done. Who is doing that at team? I'm sick to death. I'm sick to death. Nah, but I get it. But
Like,
like for me,
you
it's
know
just
what I'm
like
saying? So,
I get
like
that part, but I just feel like it's
from the
something.
guy aspect of it, I get exactly what he's saying. So I get what he's saying now. And truth be told, she's right that he is the prize. She's right. He should be keeping his dick to himself. I taught my son the same thing. Keep your dick to yourself. Keep it on the
These
shelf.
hoes ain't loyal.
Keep it on the shelf
I'm not a
till you
hoe.
got some
I'm just
stuff together.
I'm a girlfriend right now, so I'm
Keep
just.
your dick up on the shelf till you got some stuff together because sex is fun, sex is entertaining, sex is addictive, and the real Xbox.
Hey, yo,
Exactly. She
I'm
trying to get her
done.
to play the real Xbox. You heard? But you know what I mean? It's a different type of computer love. But like for guys, we get shortcut on that luxury.
Yeah,
And that's why he used the word precious. That's what let me know what he was trying to say when he said our precious girls. Because whether you're a father or you're a mother, you're busy telling your kid, your daughter, your nieces, you know what I'm saying, your girl cousins, whoever, um, oh, your body is so sacred. It's so precious. It's a gem. It's a treasure. You wouldn't just give treasure to anybody, would you? So no, hold on to it. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. And the boys are talking, hey, hey, you better hit somebody with that thing.
You better give it
You
to
better
somebody.
drop
Give it
some
up.
dick off in something.
Yeah,
What you holding on
yeah.
to it for? If you
But
hold
see,
on to
that's
it, it's
what
gonna
I feel
fall off,
like
boy.
we shouldn't
You
be
don't want
doing.
to lose it,
And
do you? You better
you know
use it unless
what?
you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Go hit it with the Hadouken. Yeah, stop playing, boy. Stop playing. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. And I taught my son the reverse because, like I said, I know when I finally did it, the first time I was, my first time experience was, you know what I'm saying? As far as like sex, like intercourse, it was, I was mad confused. It was not the point of I thought it was going to be. Um, and the second time was also, but like once I got to do it on the terms where once I got to do it on the terms where things kind of made sense, now I need more of it. You know what I'm saying? In the relationship, this girlfriend, now I need more of it. Now I got to go travel to go get it if you got it for me. Now
Hey
I'm walking
yo,
through dangerous neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? I'm going past that step with the guys on the steps. If you a
hey
dude,
yo,
you know what I'm talking about. If you a
no,
dude, you know what I'm talking about. When you walk past that step and you got to make a decision. Either you see the niggas there and you gonna turn back and head home, or you gonna walk through there.
hey
And when they
yo.
ask you who you there for, you lie. You lie. My man Rob, um, you know who live in apartment 7C? No? Oh yeah, no, that's I'm just looking for my man Rob. That's
Hey
all.
yo,
That's
hey
all.
yo.
Because you can't, because you
No,
know better than to say that girl name, because that might be one of their sisters, cousins, one of their girlfriends, or something like that. And you gonna get stomped the hell out. So that's what I'm saying. Like you put yourself in these predicaments for some cooch. And
yeah,
I don't want my son getting wrapped up in cooch. I'd rather him get comfortable in who he is, what he is, because behind cooch, boys have changed their image. Boys have changed their image just behind the quest for the cooch. Like you
yeah.
was cool, you was a nerd, you was a square like me. Now you done got some that you Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Because Shorty want a thug. You know what I mean?
Really wasn't.
So
Yeah,
now
I'm
you
done.
Shorty want a thug. So now you go and you get this tech. You feel me? Now you getting into fights. Now you done
Now
joined
you're
this
spraying on
game.
cologne and whatnot.
You heard? Like you start yeah, you young and you get some, you switch the game up to keep getting more, especially once you start getting like the roster. You know what I'm saying? Once it's different girls throwing it at you, it's a
Sick
different
to death.
lifestyle.
I'm
It's
glad
a
I'm a girl.
different lifestyle at that point. Because girls get chased all the time. So they sitting there every day, they turning down dick offers. Nah, no thanks. I'm
No, you
cool.
sound like my
Ignoring
no.
it. Bop, bop,
You
bop,
sound like
bop,
my
bop.
boyfriend. He be like them niggas doing your DM offering dick. Like he said, he be like they always niggas always offering dick. I don't know why you don't act like you don't know. I'm like yo, I be knowing. I just don't be. I said this is here's where I'm at with it. I don't be caring. They can be
Right,
offering. I don't want it,
right.
so I don't care.
Those don't get offered coochie nowhere near as much as y'all get
No,
offered pipe.
y'all be getting offered.
Nowhere
Y'all still
near.
be paying attention.
No, see, the fact that you have to talk about pay attention already says you don't know my struggle.
Hey
Okay?
yo.
Because y'all have to ignore it. That's what tells you the difference. Y'all have to ignore it.
No,
We
you
have
know
to
these
pay
motherfuckers
attention
be
for it.
talking in your inbox for months. Yo, somebody hit me up on TikTok and was like, "Hey, how you doing, beautiful?" I didn't respond. Oh, so that's how you gonna be? Well, I'm about to unfollow you. Go ahead, bro. I don't know you. I ain't
Listen,
part of me.
because you dudes gotta be on the chase.
I'm not triggered.
So 9 times out of 10, if a girl not being direct about it, you not fitting to take no assumptions, especially if you got shot down too many times before. Like dudes who got shot down a bunch of times before, you
I
know
got shut
not to
down.
stop.
I
Like I said, you don't
no.
know my struggle. You don't know my struggle, man.
I done got listen.
We're not
Let
gonna
me
do the
tell you
struggle
how. Let me take
Olympics.
my epic shot down. I got on this like what was it? This back when I was in my old house. This was like 2016 or whatever. I was on this. My best friend had me download this dating app. I downloaded it. Plenty of Fish. I think that was Plenty of Fish back then. And this guy, I thought, oh, he's cute. And, I'm the type of female that most guys won't approach because they say I look mean, right? So people don't approach me. Like I just don't look approachable in person. So I don't get the approach. It's very rare that I get an approach. I get a. We used to scare me. I used to see a motherfucker in the store and then get a DM on Facebook like, "Hey, I just saw you at the store. I don't know if you live around there." Like, first of all, that's creepy as hell. But no, on Peanut, it's funny. I saw this dude. I saw, oh, he's cute. Let me just say hi. Just inbox. Promise you. I posted it on one of my social medias back then too. I gotta find it. But I said hi. This motherfucker replied back, "You're not my type. Have a no." He didn't even say have a good day. He said, "You're not my type." And then I went back and he had blocked me. I'm like, I just said hi, sir. I didn't even. I leave the cute my pictures and everything. I said that
he was just being rude. He was just being rude.
Well,
but see,
no, but
I'm gonna tell you what else.
So funny.
That's a dude that's used to
get.
That's a dude that's used to getting it thrown at him.
Yeah,
that's a dude that's used to getting it thrown at him.
Damn, he couldn't even say hi back, good morning, or nothing. Police, nothing that.
He's in the 1%. You heard me? He's in the 1%. He only created that profile to make it easier to streamline what he fit in the layout. He don't really need it to get girls. That kind of guy. Nah, it's just I'm trying to keep things organized. Yeah.
Oh no, he definitely told me you're not my type, and then blocked me. I said, oh.
That's funny. So Kane asked what sign you are, and you know me, I'm not big on the sign things, but we did talk about it earlier. She's a Taurus.
That all day.
She's a Taurus. We was just talking about that at the top of the podcast.
I'm the best sign, the earth sign.
But more towards the topic. Definitively towards the topic of, like we said, protecting our boys is, like I said, because he said was he asked was he fine? Was he fine?
He was fine. I was like, well, he wasn't super good looking like he would. To me, he wasn't somebody out of my league. I'm an equal opportunist. I've talked to not cute, horrible looking. Like one of my boys, the boyfriend I was in love with, he was by no means was not nothing to look at, but I love that man. You couldn't tell me. Like he was the sexiest thing to me, and I knew that he was absolutely not sexy, far from it. But I loved him. If I showed you a picture now, I'd be like, "Yo, this is the person you really dated." I love that man, and I can't even take it from him. But I've also dated people that look like Shamar Moore. So, like, I have a range of type of people. So,
okay,
he was in the league of people that I have dated. So I'm just like, okay, because like I said, I'm the type of female that most guys won't approach or talk to. It's like you gotta, even if I'm out, if I'm out, like out, nobody's gonna say, hey, let me talk to you. They're not gonna do it to me. And I guess I just have this face that says, leave me the fuck alone. So
some people do. I got a couple of friends like that. Even my friend who sponsors the podcast, she's like that. Where she got that face where it's not friendly or nothing. And she's the sweetest friggin' person.
But she's just I met y'all, I'm so peace and love and rainbows.
From the jump too.
And people she's like, she'll slap shot me. I probably would. I have slapped somebody before. but that was back one of my wild years. I slapped some dude in the Philly club. And the bouncer was like, Red, you just that's one of my nicknames is Red. So he was like, Red, you just slapped that grown ass man. He said, what he said to you? I said, I don't even know.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, slap people kids. Like they know.
But
so yeah, people weren't talking to me. So I approached him and he just was like, bitch, you're not my type. I felt like he called me a bitch, even though he didn't. He just said, you're not my type. I felt like he called me. But like I wasn't even mad. Like I laughed so hard when I saw that, and I think I screenshotted it and shared it on Facebook because I was like, yo, this is an epic, like, bitch, no, bitch, please. I was like, I ain't never been shot down like that. I'm cute. I think I'm okay. He was like, not in my house. He did Kimbo Matumbo. The Kimbo Matumbo my shit. He was like, bitch, get out my inbox. Stupid ass out here.
No, not today.
Yes.
R.I.P. to D. But so it's just that starting out on the I'm not trying to sound too victimized when I say it, but starting out on that particular angle of the sexual scale, as far as males and females are concerned, again, it's a lot imposed on us from the giddy up. And it's that much worse, right? Like it's bad because if a boy is sexually assaulted by a male, he has to live with the shame, the whole thing about uh Rob, welcome to the chat. Thank you for showing up and all your continued support. My man Myron said, nah, it was that you had that I don't kiss people energy. That's why he said that.
I don't.
Myron is
I only put my lips on
the
everybody.
resident comedian of the comments.
Hey, yeah.
You always got a comment, yo. You always got a good one. But yeah, so like if it happens to a man and he's, if a man was the one who sexually assaulted you, molested you, whatever, then you're living with that shame, you're living with that embarrassment, you're
Yeah.
you're living with, being perceived as gay, wondering if that made you gay, all those
Yeah.
kind of things, right? And if they catch the guy who did it, then they found out the guy who did it. If somebody finds out about the guy who did it, at the very least, we putting up the pitchforks and the torches and we finna, we get at that man. You know what I mean? He can't be allowed to
Yeah.
live. He can't walk the streets. But
Yeah.
as you were saying earlier, like with your friend, and there's tons of men, like no matter how many times this goes on social media, clips, content, there's always going to be a bunch of dudes in the comment section talking about, what y'all crying about? What y'all bitching about? He got him
Yeah.
some Gucci. What y'all
That's
mad at? You
re-victimizing
don't
somebody
like
that went through
Gucci?
some
Da
shit.
da 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 da. And it's like y'all was the same dudes who this happened to, and we wear it like a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Because we act like we got selected. We act like we got drafted. You know what I'm saying? Number one in the Coochie draft, Larry
Not realize
Charles.
it's
Whole
not even
time it's like, no,
it's
we
that you
got
got preyed
kicked
upon.
out. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, son.
You got
Perfect
preyed on.
words. We
You
got
got
preyed
you got
on.
somebody that saw what you was doing and preyed upon you. It's just like a dude dating an 18-year-old and you 30-something years old. You're
Shit.
grooming a child. Like this is you're grooming them. It's but
Yeah.
like that's basically somebody saw you as prey and you think you won and you didn't. You were preyed upon. So how do you tell somebody that person was a
That
predator?
thought they won that. You're right. Right. So, uh, damn, Kane. He said he was sexually molested at 6. It was the 80s. It seems like what was the norm at that time. And that's crazy that there really was an era and a point in time where a girl touching a older woman or older female touching a younger male inappropriately just seemed like the thing at the time. Like it just seemed normal. It just seemed
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? It just happens. Like it's gonna happen. Like I remember in high school, we joke about it a little bit, once we got older, but it's really kind of fucked up actually. We got metal detectors in my high school or whatever, right?
They're wild. Okay.
Germantown High. Yeah.
Okay,
We
Germantown.
we got metal detectors put in our high school, so that changed everything up in terms of how we had to go through specific doors and go up these specific stairs, and it's a long line to get searched. Around, I want to say my senior year specifically, there was this one security guard, and she was a female. And I know,
Okay.
and since working security, I understand now why they have female search females and male search males. Because this is how you knew you had a gat on you. If she patted you down and was like, all right, now you have a good day, you packing. If she hurried you up on pass, all right, go ahead. You ain't working with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the joke that we used to have about it, but it's like whole time you got this woman
That she
getting paid
violating. Yeah,
to
to touch people's
violate
kids. Yeah.
people's, you know what I'm saying? On a daily basis.
Yeah.
And none of us was aware enough of what was going on to complain. Even those who might have felt uncomfortable by it just chalked it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the touchy-feely guard. Now, a couple of us, instead of complaining, we kind of would like since we know how it go, like every other or whatever, we know how they count you off, you would be let somebody else go first. Let a girl go in
Yeah.
front of you so that you catch the other guard. That's what I did because I ain't trying to get my dick
Yeah.
grabbed every morning. Um,
Yeah.
not unless it's by a girl who I'm trying to
All right.
smash. You hear me?
You know what? I used to
Um,
be at the Philly Club with the guard. I'm like, go ahead. Man, I ain't been touching in a while. He used to, yeah, I used to look at laugh when she used to, nah, I used
I
to
ain't
do
even
that.
touched the
I used to do that to one of the guards. She used to be, I don't know if it was farmers or or transit. She used to come. She's like, "Ah, here you go." I'm like, go on and pat me down. It's been a while. Go on. I want to be touched. And she's like, give my good side. Just don't
Dang.
mind me.
Rob, we was actually talking about that earlier, how you have dudes who either arrange or pay for their young sons to have sexual experiences just to
But all the
certify
women,
that they
yeah,
sons with older women, just to certify that they son, get some cooch, just to certify that they not gay. I don't know if you saw her comment. She said it was definitely a thing. I had a guy tell me that he was willing to pay for his minor son to get head at a freak off Super Bowl party and that the stripper was an adult. And that's just insane. It's just insane. But
it
yes,
is. But and that's what I said. That's what
that's the
some
thing.
guys will go to the length to
I
do
mean, we
that
know
to make
Boosie.
sure
It was a big deal when Boosie was talking about how he paid the prostitute to have
somebody
sex
to
with his son.
sexually assault his son. Crazy,
And
crazy.
that's the thing about it, right? Like even just now, I said have sex with his son, and you spoke the truth on it to sexually assault his son.
Yeah, because it
And
ain't,
we
and
keep
that's why I
thinking
say
because it
it's
has the male consent
it's the social
that it's not
norm.
sexually assault, right? When it's a dude and it's a woman, we understand no matter how many times that girl says she wanted it, and it's a 25-year-old dude and a 15-year-old girl, we understand clear out the blue that was assault. That was
So why is it okay for? So why is it a problem for girls and not our boys? And this is another thing that I will say that my former co-host Move brought up. Something that you need to think about. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm pretty sure the comment section is gonna light up with this one too. If not, we'll see. Um, when I had my son, now you got friends, girlfriends, and stuff like that that you're cool with. Oh, that's my boyfriend. That's my little boyfriend. We don't think none of it. Why is it? Because like as a grown man, if I
because
have a
I
little
wish
girl,
to
you
I
can't you, you
wish to
can't fucking call my
what
daughter your girlfriend.
where my girlfriend, where my little girlfriend at?
We're gonna
Boy,
have
you'll
a
be
fucking
lucky to
problem.
make
So
it
like,
off.
why is it okay
You'll be
for
lucky to make it
us
off my
us
premises.
females to say, "Well, that's my little boyfriend"? And I
Yep.
thought about that, and when he said it, I said, because that's something that even as we were talking about this topic, it's like that flew right over my head. And I'm like, oh, yo, wow, because I didn't even
Yes.
think about that. But it's
Yes. A bunch
okay
of us
for us
little
to be
boys with
okay
some
with
grown
these
women
grown
and
women
little
calling our
boyfriend.
sons. They like, cause my son now, oh, it's my little boyfriend. I'm like,
Pick
because
them,
now
pick
I'm
us
correcting.
up, hug us, kiss all over us, all kind of crazy.
Yeah, I
I,
just
I, I
had to
remember
talk.
seeing that and getting that.
Yeah, but
I
I
remember seeing that
remember
and getting that.
no, because so I have a little grandbaby. I tell her like she's only two.
It didn't happen in front of my mom though.
She
Let me be
she
clear.
wanna
That should
yeah
never happen in front of my mom because my mom was not cool with that. But sometimes,
right.
I'm out with an aunt or uncle or somebody else, and here go the person. Oh, that's what the little boy. That's my little boyfriend coming. Oh,
No, I don't
and
want
it's
nobody
like
kissing my son.
my mom
I don't
don't
say that.
play. What you talking about?
No, because even with
Heisman
my son,
stiff arm. If she catch you,
yeah,
you
because even with my
if she
son, I
catch
had to
you,
tell my
you
son,
lucky if she don't put hands and feet on you.
yeah, because even with my son, I had to like when he was younger, hug everybody. But like I'm not telling him to go hug so and so. No, you don't want to hug them. You don't feel uncomfortable around them. Don't do that. But like with my granddaughter, like I have to kind of get her sometimes because she just want to hey, and it's like
Hmm.
you can't just be hugging everybody.
Right.
Like no. And it's like, but like she don't know no better, so you have to teach these kids that this ain't that.
Yeah.
Like even my son, like he's nonverbal, but like he'll walk up to somebody and if he see you, like he don't really talk to people. So when he talk to people, it kind of throws me off because he's not like if he see you now, he's not going to randomly talk to you. If he does,
Hmm.
on the off chance that he does, he'll stop and like touch arm and like hi and
Hmm.
like that. But this one lady used to come by because my son plays in my yard and I have cameras, you know. So my son
Hmm.
was playing in the yard and I heard him saying hi to somebody and somebody was talking to him. It was a lady. She was like, "Oh, I bought him some stuff from the store. Is it okay?" Excuse me, what? I mean, I know you see me with him, walking with him and stuff like that, but like we don't know you.
Right.
Like I'm on alert about a lot of stuff. Even like with my
Rightfully
neighbor, he'll
so.
say hi. He said, "Hey, what's my boy?" I'm like, "He in the house," because like my son will give him a high five. He see him, he's like, he'll say hi and give him a high five and then walk off. But like even with that,
Hmm.
I'm on everything moving because
As you should.
it's just like you just gotta be mindful and stuff like that. But
As you
yeah, that lady
should.
walked by my house and it was trying to give my son some candy and rightfully so because my son don't really communicate that much. So he just looked at her and she was trying to hand it to him and he didn't reach his hand out and he just was like this. And then she was like, hello. He's like, I just bought him some stuff. Can he have? And I'm like, I took it, but I threw it right in the
But
garbage.
you know not to.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
this ain't Halloween. We ain't trick or treating.
Yep. I done did that before. Ross said, because my son ain't your motherfucking boyfriend.
That
Absolutely
part.
ain't.
And like, you don't even, it's something so small like that. And it's not to say that all women think that way, right? But
But
it's
it's a
just
bunch of them.
it's a thing that we are comfortable with as females. Like,
Yes.
as moms, we heard it about our boys. That's my little boyfriend. He's so handsome. You can call him handsome and everything like that, but like, that's such a fucking boyfriend. But like, this is for me. I was okay with that for a point in time because I didn't even think that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Because
then,
it was
and
the
it's not
norm.
just, it was like, that's why I say, like, we do social norms that it's expected and it's not even a big deal. But when you really have these conversations about protecting our boys, those are things because some people have that ill intention.
Yeah.
And they
Listen.
say the person that assaults you is usually somebody you know and you trust. I mean,
Yes.
it can be somebody you don't know, but it's more often than not,
More often than not.
it's somebody that you know and that you trust, that you wouldn't think they would do that. Like this, just like when I got sexually assaulted, I found out that it happened to one of my other family members. And maybe 2 years ago, me and her sat in my living room and had the conversation. Like, we ain't never had it, right? But like, one of my other cousins told me, that I know you're not lying because that happened to so and so. And me and her hadn't talked in a while. And she came. It's after my grandma passed, and we was all hanging around like a little bit more. And she came to my house, and we was just chilling one night, just sipping and talking. And me and her, I don't know how we got on the topic, but we were talking about it. And what I found out on that night, and this is and this is, I have a big problem with what goes on in this house stays in this house. I have, like, we were raised upon that, right? And
yes, we were.
This is, or goes in his family, this is our family business. It ain't everybody's business. Sometimes it is, right? Because I
Sometimes it
walked
is.
into a situation not knowing what had
What
already
was already
happened, and
going
the
on.
way she explained it to me was, he just touched her, and she said something. So because she said something to all you grown people, nobody did anything. And then, which is crazy because me and her, we're cousins, but they say me and her look like sisters. All when we were kids, we like that, y'all like sisters. Even her own brother, that's her brother, her half brother. When I moved around his block, he was like, "Oh, you like my sister." So we called each other sis and bro because that's that's my cousin, and everybody say we look like sisters. So with that in mind, now I'm around, and this happens to me, but it goes the step all the way. He crosses the line all the way. And then I tell y'all, cops are called, and y'all say, "Oh no, she just had a seizure." That's not a seizure, man. Like, everything was still around, and like, everything is evident of what had happened. But you told them that, and then you took me home, and then you had me talk. You had this man meet me at the house and explain to me that what I said didn't happen. Like, this is what I'm talking about with so that's why I'm big on, and that's why I like, from being around sexual assault survivors and people that were molested or sexually abused in their life, and hearing the stories, I have so many problems with, like, if my daughter was ever, not that knock on wood, that this, I hope never in the future or anything like that, she comes to me and says this, but there's no way she's going to ever be able to tell me that somebody did something to her that I had around, and I'm not going to believe her. Whether I was there or not, I don't think you would just tell me a lie like that. And if you tell me we're going all the way with this shit, so if you come out you lying, we're gonna have a problem. But I'm gonna take it that that's
but
what
I'm
you
gonna take
said.
you,
But this
I'm gonna
is
take
why
you
I feel
serious.
like within our household, where you got people dating, boyfriends doing this to the kids, boyfriends doing this to the kids, boy or girl, and all these things, and they're not believing it, and you're protecting these predators and people that prey upon them. Or you got uncles and cousins, sometimes it's siblings. The list can go on. I feel like with our girls, we are at a heightened level of protection, and this is why, like, statements like precious and are just like delicate babies. All of our babies are delicate, boy or girl.
All of them.
So that's how I feel. Like, I feel like all of them should be delicate because this is how we get our boys by the wayside. And we don't know because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a female. But most not more often not. Sometimes it's females too, and we need to look at females as predators to protect our boys and be mindful of who we have around our female, our boys, where we place our boys, what custody, or where we have them at. Because we're more likely to let our boys go spend the night at their boy's house and do all this stuff and run amok and hang out with their friends, not knowing it could be soccer coach, the boys' best friend's dad, sibling, sister, from other stuff. I feel like we need that the same. That's why that shirt rings true. And I swear that I'm gonna find it and wear it tomorrow. But it just feel like I feel like we need to have that matching. It should be no upper or lower. It should just be on the same playing field. Protect them.
Same playing field. Let me see for a couple of comments before I interject or throw my whole thing in. Pause or throw my whole thing in. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez, my bad, y'all. Kane said it's not okay, but we ignore that because we don't think a woman would touch a kid. Right quick, I just want to interject on that and say that actually, when it comes to crime, physical crime and violent crime, I forgot the exact percentage, and I'm sorry, I had a rough week, so I didn't have the numbers in front of me tonight. When I get to it, I'll post it on Facebook and probably Instagram too. But women are not just statistically, legally, when there's a crime and they don't know who did it, the assumption is that it's male. When it comes to physical crimes and violent crimes, the assumption is that the suspect is male. Every time. That is the assumption. So whether it happens to a woman or whether it happens to a man, and the reason why a lot of unsolved murders go unsolved is because they were looking for a man and they didn't look for a woman. That's actual fact. I'm not making that up. To go on, Bree said, bought him something without his mother's permission. Oh, hell no, this ain't that. I heard that. Shit. Say Bree said, bought him stuff without his mother's permission. Oh, hell no. This ain't that.
Yeah, she was walking by. She was walking by, and I guess she, because I live not too far from a corner store, and I live also near like a housing development behind my house. So they come through, the alleyway, past my house, my backyard, and stuff. And it's just, no. This is why this summer I'm having my privacy gate, because he has like a pool back there. He got a pool back there, so he's back there, in his little trunk, living his little best life. And my son is not that like I said, he's autistic. He doesn't think, like, if he got to pee, sometimes I got a bathroom right downstairs. Sometimes he just go on the opposite. I got the yard, the walkway split the yard. So he'll go off to the side, and like, he has no shame or embarrassment. So yeah, when I catch him, I'm like, what you doing? Get in the house. Why you peeing in the grass? But like, he'll do that without even thinking, like, because he's not cognizant of dangers and peeping toms and people that look for that stuff, like, no. Or if you've seen him do that, now you want to be on the scene to see him do it. So I just got my roof done, so I'm about to get my privacy gate, because I feel like at least I know when he's back there, nobody can. Because then I also have some kids come in my yard trying to play with him, and he like, I don't know, he don't talk to y'all. So what y'all like? Just walking here, getting in the pool, like. So yeah, I got to get a privacy gate, because that's a scary thought of,
Yeah. Don't want nobody sitting there watching when he pool, watching the water glisten all over his body. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Kane said, my mom friends were trying to fuck me. My mom stepped in and was like, not him, bitch. Go somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of dudes I know with similar stories.
Wow.
Say said, my cousin was definitely protected when he was inappropriate with me. He was still allowed at the family cookouts. And that just is insane. And too many people have similar stories of having to face the accuser in, familiar spots because nobody stepped in and did anything. Like, that shit's crazy.
On Facebook, after my aunt passed, he sent me a friend request, and I'm like,
yeah, like my one friend told me that, her assaulter actually showed up at the family reunion, which prompted her to actually tell, some people she hadn't told before. Yeah, because she was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
So she told, there's a lot of stuff you got to deal with that.
She told somebody who she didn't tell before, and fortunately, that family member was like, all right, well, you just bought you some new clothes, and those new clothes finna look a lot like me, because I'm finna be all over you for the rest of this trip. Wherever you going, I'm going. Like he not finna get to you unless he willing to go through me, and he
Yeah.
not willing to go through me. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She she was fortunate to have that because even in some situations you still don't get that. You told people and people don't do anything. You tell people now and they still don't want to do anything. They don't want to face it. I
Yeah.
personally have never been that kind of person to where you could tell me something like that happened to you and I'm not fitting to step or I'm not ready to step. So I feel bad for people who are in those situations where people just rather keep the status quo than rock the boat. Me, I'm like fuck the boat, blow the boat up, throw the paddles away.
Like,
Let's drown in this bitch
like that bitch on fire.
before
All that.
you heard me. Let's drown in this bitch before I let such and such touch you again or even breathe on you improperly. And,
Yeah.
and you ain't gotta be my girl for that. You all you got to be is somebody I know and I rock with. Like that's it. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And then I'm on go. So on episode 35 of Life Be Life, I did an episode called SA is okay. And I put dot 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 against men because unfortunately, SA against men is treated like a joke. Um, it's treated so lighthearted, like we said, whether it's at the lower level of young boys getting, fucked by teachers and babysitters and aunties. Even when you said the whole thing about that's my little boyfriend, it brought me to something I made a clip about. I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you guys in the chat have seen it. Sherry Shepard,
Mm-hmm.
she spoke about Cheryl Lee Ralph's son.
Mm-hmm.
And she said since he was a baby, he was always so handsome. And she's like, oh, he gonna grow up to be a lady killer. And she seen him recently and she was like, yeah, yeah, I want that. I want that.
Oh no.
Ever since he was a baby, I knew he was gonna turn out this way. And
Lord.
she's just lustily speaking on this young man. And she was like, yeah, Cheryl might not want to have me over the house no more because she might turn her back and we might be in another room or something like that.
Oh
And it's
wow.
like,
That's a
mind
lot.
you,
That's a
she's
lot.
saying this on a talk show, and the crowd full of women are applauding. So when you said not all women are like that, I'm like, a lot are. That's my evidence. That's my proof that you didn't hear a bunch of oh in the crowd. You didn't hear about ew. You didn't
Yeah.
hear gas. You heard clapping, especially when she showed the picture like they validating it because he handsome. Listen, I don't give a fuck how handsome
Yeah.
either one of my sons are.
No.
If my wife was to hear somebody that she called a friend speak about either of her sons in that fashion, let me tell you, at the very least, you fitting to see her. But you might have to see her, her sisters, her mom, cousins. And that's if I don't get to you first, because I'm not going to carry you a woman.
Yeah.
I am the chivalry laws don't apply to you wanting to sexually, and I don't care that he's an adult now either. I don't care if he's 25. The fact is you knew him when he was 5.
Yeah. And this. Oh, I
And
had
if a
so.
dude says that, back to what you were saying, if a dude says, I knew ever since she was small that she would turn out to be beautiful, that she would turn out to be, a man eater. And hey, Denzel might not want to invite me over the house no more because
Yeah.
shoot, me and his daughter might be nobody's in that audience clapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might not even make it to air. If it's going live, they cut in the feed, they go into commercial. And she got
Yeah.
to come back the next day and apologize for her remarks. And I'm not trying to hear that whole, well, she's a comedian and comedians say inappropriate things. If she was doing her
Yeah.
stand up, you could give me that BS. I still wouldn't go for it, but that would be the excuse why you could give me that BS if she was doing her stand up. She's doing a daytime talk show. It's not no
Yeah.
room
That's
for
different.
that kind of riffing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the problem is that is too acceptable. And that's just from the woman side of things. Because again, people will get all up in arms if they hear a man speak about another boy like that. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They get all up in arms. But the fact is, women are allowed to be predators and they're allowed to do so freely. Women are allowed to abuse men and they're allowed to do so freely. And the problem with all of this, on top of the things that Sonny's mentioned, as far as what it does to your personality and how you see women. I even said on episode 35, like you wonder why dudes ain't shit. You wonder why dudes is dogging out women. I keep hearing, and I keep seeing this comment. How could you be raised by your mother and treat women like this? First of all, I always say you don't know what kind of mother they had.
Yeah.
Second of all, they might have had a great mother, but if their mother was great and their mother was awesome, but outside of their mother's sight, some older woman was putting their fucking dick in their mouth.
Yeah.
They
That's
are going
different.
to see women a lot differently in most cases.
And sometimes, and then
And
I
it's
even
going
think to
to
that.
last for quite a while if there's no healing done, if there's no work done, if there's no intervention done. Why do you expect that boy to grow up to be a man who values and respects women all of a sudden when he didn't
Yeah.
get the respect when he was young?
Yeah. I
She
feel
set
like
the
too.
tone.
Sometimes it be their mom, and that's
And
another thing
sometimes it
too.
do
Like
be their mom. That's why I said you
it be
don't know
their
what
mom,
kind of mom they had.
not
You don't know what
necessarily
kind of
like in
mom
a
they had.
sexual a nature. I mean,
Right.
to some sense, but sometimes their mom, like they could have seen, not necessarily seen it, but like if you're a boy seeing random dudes coming, you got like about 6, 7 uncles.
Exactly.
The math ain't mathing. Them not they don't be at none of the barbecues, family functions, nothing like that. So
But they
and then
all Uncle so and
if you
so.
that yeah, and then if you that mom that's out here yes, we have a life too, right? We have
Right.
a life too that we want to be, doing sexual things, so like that, whatever. But it's not what you do, it's how you do things. So like for me, I know with my daughter, it was more so like she always was my mom used to babysit when I went out or entertained. Like if I entertain, like so if I'm in a relationship with the guy, my daughter would see them around, but it's
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff that wouldn't go on while she was around or within earshot,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like if you're having sex, it wouldn't be like I don't give a fuck. This is my house. We in here. I
Right.
still got my daughter in the room over there, so I'm not going to
Right.
be all on top of my like now. If we in the room by ourselves and ain't nobody in this house, listen, we in here.
Right.
The neighbor gonna know both our names. Like we might be in
Right.
here loud as a
Holla.
motherfucker,
Who another
but
holla?
yeah, when you got kids, you do something, you do things a little differently. Whereas like you operate
You
differently.
gotta
Like
do the
you don't,
shh.
yeah, or you do what most people do, what most
Put that
moms
sock in
used
her
to
mouth.
do. I see you when they go to sleep. They go to sleep.
That.
We can
Yep.
come over, we can hang out and chill out, or when I get a baby, I can go to your house, or we can go do stuff like that, whatever. But like you just be mindful. But like if you're one of them parents that wasn't like that and did whatever you wanted to do, like you guys, I've heard stories of people, moms out there doing stuff with people in the bed next to like all these things, and nobody by far nobody's perfect, but it's just like you have to
Mm-hmm.
be mindful that you could be unintentionally by
You
careless
set a bad
actions
precedent. Yeah.
setting stuff and screwing these kids up. Like if you got a jaded way of thinking, you can screw these kids up.
Facts.
And
Because
sometimes
I know a
most of
dude who mom was getting body slammed at least
I said
three
he said
times
body
a week.
slam.
I gotta
Yeah,
say body slam because like they was moving furniture. Okay.
yeah.
They
I
was
can
up
move some
there
furniture, but
moving
like not. Yeah,
furniture. You know what I mean? I know another dude, like me, I always got my headphones on, but he's had headphones on for most of his life because that's how he used to break from hearing his mom hooting and hollering, the bed shifting, like I said, she in there getting WWE down. You feel me? Like, what I mean,
yeah.
getting power drive through the bed, DDT, putting the Cobra clutch, all
I
them
say
type
doing it.
stuff.
I'm sick to death.
You know what I'm saying? He want to bring friends over. He wanted to bring friends over. I remember one time he didn't even know his mom was home. In fact, he didn't know his mom was going to be home. So we in there again, Sega Genesis type time. Cool, cool, cool. His mom come home. Hey, so forth. Hey, Miss So and So. Nigga walk in. Don't speak to neither one of us. Go upstairs.
Yeah.
My homeboy don't peep it. All of a sudden, he hear the bedroom door close. And I forget what we was playing. It wasn't Sonic or nothing like that. It was a different Genesis game. We was playing, and he
Hey, God.
hit
In
pause,
the old school.
turned the joint off, took the cartridge out, reached out his hand for me because we were sitting on the floor, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So I reached my hand. He pulled me up, and he walked me to the door. And he's like, "I'll see you whenever I see you, bro. I'm gonna see you whenever I see you," and just walked me out. like
Because he
because
didn't
he
want you
knew
to
what
hear
was
that
finna go.
comparison.
Because I could already hear it. Bam, bam, bam. Ah, ah. He just
Just
walked me
know,
out.
yeah. See,
And
and
I'm just
I
sitting there
don't,
like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough to have to deal with. And then,
yeah,
like, that'll be the guy who thinks that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, his mom did all this stuff to put food on the table and keep clothes on his back. She showed up to PTAs. She wasn't on drugs and nothing like that. But at the end of the day, he might think, oh, women's are sluts because his mom was sitting there getting, banged by different dudes. You know what I'm saying? All kind of crazy every week. So
yeah,
yeah, he think he above women. Yeah, he think he better than women. Yeah, he think that women should just be handing him over the coochie because he don't know why his mom was like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Him and his mom didn't sit down and have them conversations where she's like, I'm hypersexual or, I'm in control of my sexuality. And it, that didn't happen.
yeah,
That didn't happen. So yeah, like a lot of dudes, and I think that's why I took offense to something a girl said on tonight's conversation where she said something to the point of women are single because she tired of what y'all fucked up ass mommies done did to y'all. And I'm like, but you said that so trivially. You know what I'm saying? You said that in such a trivial fashion. It's along the lines of, well, who hurt you? And I hate that
yeah.
phrase
Oh,
because it's
I'll be
not.
saying that. Oh, I say it. So I'm like, who hurt you? Who is your mama? Who's one of the girls?
I hate that phrase because it's said to belittle somebody and dismiss somebody. And then if you say it and somebody really got hurt, what if I turned around and be like the pastor? The fuck you
Yeah,
gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You said that to try to because you think I'm acting nutty or whatever. And you're like, well, who hurt you? The pastor. Every Saturday, routinely. The fuck you
yeah,
gonna say then? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You like, oh my bad, I ain't over. I
Like,
was being
right. You're
funny. I
gonna be
didn't
like, you're
know.
right. You
Yeah, yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Now your ass in your stomach and your foot in your mouth.
No, but
You
like
know what I'm saying? Because you
it
can't.
could be said in a trivial way, but it also could be said in a real ass way. Like, cause like I say
But
that
that's
like
why I
I've
said
had
if you say it, then
conversations.
you got to be willing. You got to be willing to have a
Yeah,
conversation with a
cause
person
I've said it
because
in like
it's people
within
who
conversation.
truly
It was
get hurt.
like yeah, cause I said in conversations where a dude was saying stuff, and I'm like, damn, like this is like, and I feel like if we're talking a lot of conversations, like the conversation me and this particular person were having, it's like I know your mama hurt. Like it had to be your mom because it's that like the way you talk, it's just it ain't bitches cheated and left you. Like it's what's the like I'm on
It's a
some
lot of
therapy
hurt.
shit. Like what happened in your childhood? Like that hurt is deeper than like I'm in a
Yeah,
relationship type shit. So
yeah,
I was like, who hurt you? Like is your mom like how is your mom? Because
yes,
then but then you got people
yes. It's
that take
set to
their mom
trigger.
as a saint,
Yes.
and it's not necessarily that. Like you, because like we like
Mm-hmm.
with our parents, you want to that dumb our parents. They can't do no wrong, but they human. They do wrong.
Yeah, a
Nobody,
lot wrong.
no parent,
Yeah,
including myself, is perfect. We do stuff
facts.
wrong. We don't get it right all the time. There's no manual tell you how you be a perfect parent. We out here flawed. Um, so we may do things that are not necessarily great, but sometimes we could hurt our kids. Like I said,
Yeah,
unintentionally or intentionally.
yes, yes. And most times it is unintentionally. Most times it's just selfish, done without thought, too busy trying to live
Like
your
didn't even
life the
think
way
that
you
far
want to live
ahead.
it. You know what I'm saying? And not thinking about the ramifications that it puts on your child or your child's
Yeah,
child if they can't break the cycle. Um,
yeah,
so like I said, I hate that phrase because it's not said, with the genuine mind, like let's get to the bottom of this and let's help you out. It's as Say just said, it's said to trigger. It's said to make things even worse. Like it's supposed to win the conversation. It's supposed to win the battle of wits because
yeah,
especially if you really did get hurt by somebody, you more than
yeah.
likely you're not finna admit it. Like, well, yeah, such and such actually did hurt me. So it's going to sting
Yeah.
you, and now it's like now you just got to cuss at the person because they hurt your feelings, and you don't really
That's
have a
it.
comeback for it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. You fucking monkey.
That's what
Like,
it's meant
nigga
to
got
do.
something,
It's meant
something.
to throw you off your game, so that you can't really converse. You can't go back and forth with that person because your feelings hurt, and you too caught up
Yeah.
in your feelings.
Now you
But
out of feeling you about to cry, trying to
you know what
fight
I'm
back the
saying?
tears. The shit
Yeah. Now
not
you
real.
gotta now
Bitch,
you
I
gotta
hurt
block
you.
them. Now you gotta block
Come
them.
on, hit
Yep. 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 You gotta call them by their name and block them right
bitch.
after that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't be blocking people. I don't block
You
nobody. I
like
be
fuck
getting
you,
blocked.
bitch.
I
Um,
think I'm always on the receiving end of getting blocked. I don't be blocking people. I'm like, come on, because I feel like, so listen, I get paid. Come to my social medias and be all up in that bitch. Do everything. I want you to. I'm gonna get paid while you over here being nosy and don't like me. I love it.
I only block people when they do something that's too ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? To where I feel like it actually be conflict on our side. I'm not trying to
No,
fight nobody
no,
or or,
I
or
block
nothing
bosses.
over
I block
huh?
bosses and supervisors, but like, yeah, I'll block
Oh
boss.
shit. They
Like, you don't
they
need to be my friend. I'll block you. Don't try to find me on Facebook.
yeah, hell no. I reject every one of those. Don't send me a
Block,
request and you
blockity, block. Especially during Black History
fuck
Month, I'm
out of
blocking
here.
everybody.
Fuck out of here. I even had a supervisor I was really cool with that was like, "Oh, follow me on Facebook." I said, "Hell no, not my supervisor no more."
That part, like, you can't be my
And she's
supervisor.
like,
Then we
"Oh,
can
but I
be
thought we
friends.
was
Cause you cool
cool."
as
I said,
hell.
honestly, I said you cool, but we not cool until you're not my supervisor anymore. If we
That
still
part,
cool after that, that's when I know we actually cool.
exactly.
And true to form, I'll give her credit. She's super thorough, and we've been cool ever since, even after with her not being my supervisor no
Yeah.
more. But yeah, so to get back to the topic, um I think this conversation being reiterated as many times as possible is very important because it's so easy to lose sight of. Like me, I only got two sons. I don't have no daughters, thank God. God knew what he was doing. Um, but I'm overprotective of them. They can't go over everybody's house. Like I'll sooner have somebody come here because I'm
Yeah.
vigilant. I'm up late at night. You ain't finna try know none of my boys without me finding out. And
Not
then
my
you
baby.
know, it's just not going to happen. Like even with their girlfriends. Hi, what up, bro? Um,
Uh-huh.
Even with their girlfriends, I was that way with my little brother. I remember this girl wanted to get with him, and I was like, "What's your intentions with my brother?" I even asked, even the woman that my brother is married to now. I even asked her that when they
What's your
first started dating.
intention?
What's your intentions with my brother? Like the same way the dudes, would ask a dude about a female. I don't feel no different way about the guys that's under my wing, man. I keep my guys under my wings like Chinese rice. So whether it's my brothers, my players, my mentees, my sons, my
Mm-hmm.
cousins, um, you can't if I'm around, you can't just get access to them without me questioning it. The same
Yeah.
way that, I see dudes be with their daughters, their nieces, whatever female that falls under their protection shield. Like they on top. Eh,
Yeah.
who is you, little nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no,
where you
one of
come
my
from? Why
ex's
you
moms did
around
that
here?
to me. One of my ex's moms asked me what's her intentions with my son. I said, what? Hey, what's your son's intentions with me? What the
No,
hell?
no, I'm
I
the
still love
dude
her to
asking
this day.
before my wife even asks, I'm asking.
Yeah.
My wife, her mom, her sisters, they far more open and welcoming than I am initially. If any girlfriend my son got to prove something to me.
Yeah.
You gotta prove something to me. Ain't no walking up here. Hey, dad. Hey, pops. Yeah, no. I ain't had no daughters.
Mm-mm.
I ain't had no
Yeah.
daughters. What the fuck is you talking about?
Yeah.
Who's you? Who sent you, nigga? Who sent you?
Shit.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Amen.
I ain't playing them games. I ain't playing them games because boys get hurt, boys get heartbroken, boys get taken advantage of. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
Boys get cheated on, boys get pranked. All that same shit that happened to girls happen
Boys
to
get set
boys.
up because
Boys get
boys
lined
can get
up
set
for
up.
sure, for
Yep.
sure. And Lord forbid I ever have to go to war because you thought you could line my son up and that was going to be the end of the story.
Yeah.
No.
You out here
So,
Liam Neeson and John Wick and,
oh,
and
you
equalizing the
heard?
fuck out of people.
You heard? I'm ready to go to jail behind it. That's one of the few things I'll go to jail behind. Even with my youngest son being 7, I started having to be mean to some little girl because I heard she kept being too rough with him.
Mm-mm.
So I'm sitting
Or
there
some little girl
I'm eyeballing the fuck out that little girl and her mama
mm-mm.
because he done told on her a couple of times. So now I want you to know that I know what your daughter did to my son, and shit not sweet.
Yeah.
Shit is not sweet. Just because he friendly and forgiving, don't mean I am.
Mm-mm.
Keep your daughter away from my son till you teach her how to act.
Mm-mm.
Plain and simple. I don't care that you think your daughter is cute. You do think your daughter is everything in the world. I think my son is everything in the world, and I'm entitled to
Yeah.
that. He is no less
Yeah.
special than your daughter. So
Yeah,
I don't even play them
that's
games
funny. 'Cause
whatsoever.
That remind me of my son. What was it, last year? He started this after school program, and it's for kids that were all different developmental delays or disabilities. And he got there, and his first day, we did like the walkthrough to kind of look at the facility, and I let him go and meet some other kids and stuff. My son is like the autistic kid that you see playing by himself. He doesn't really play with people. He like his former plan is like sitting next to somebody while they both doing their own fucking thing. Like I got this, you got this. We're playing together in his eyes. That's how he plays. So
Okay.
like the most he'll do is let somebody chase him, and they gotta chase him. He's not chasing them. So
Okay.
right, and so we in there. I'm talking to the lady. We going through the little stuff, going through the different rooms. They friends stuff to me. And he in the gym room. So this little girl, immediate little girl, I think she had Down syndrome. She came. She said she was like hi, and the way my son is, because he's nonverbal, but his cues be on point. He turned around and he was like, and she was like trying to hug him, but like she's one of them kids that don't really, a lot of them don't know their own strength. She just know that she want to play with my son, and he not saying nothing back, but she's like talking to him. So then she comes over and she like grabbing him, and she's like, I like him, I want to play with him, he's mine. And I went with his teacher. So she's like, no. She's like, Zay, come over here. And we trying to pry her off of my baby, but like this little girl is strong.
Strong as
So
shit.
I'm like, I gotta keep my eye on her because she ain't even been here 5 minutes and she already on his heels. So then he like does what he normally does, just runs off, right? So she like, oh, we running, I'm running too. So he looking like he's scared because like he like getting chased after, but he don't know like she's smiling too hard to be chasing behind. So he like this, and then he stops and he looks at me, and I'm like, do you want to play? You want to run? And he looked at me, and he pointed to her, and I was like, if you want to play, you can play. And but like he's alarmed by people being aggressive with him.
Hmm.
So I guess she understood that if you gonna play with him, you gotta like not be grabbing
Tone it
him.
down. Yeah.
So then it could be like my son will look at me, look for me in a minute, like mom, see out here, like because he can't say it, but his facial expressions be on point. So he looking at me, and then he looked, and then she looked at me, and she said, okay. I ain't have to tell her. She was like, okay, and then he was like, and then he ran. He pointed at her, and then ran, and then she came running behind him. And then he was like, once I started seeing his little head bob, I'm like, okay, he having fun.
Okay.
She know to tone it down. Like I had to watch her for a minute, like, but like
Got to step in.
when I got ready to leave, she's like, is he leaving? I said, yeah, we just came for a visit, and he might start here. She said, I hope he does. She said, because I want to go home with y'all. I'm like, yeah, no, baby, you got your own mommy, you got your own family. She was all hug. She started hugging me, and I had to figure out how to
Hmm.
get her off of me because I'm like, you little grip, you over here gripping me up, little girl. How is she? Why is she gripping me like this? But yeah, it made me be like, I was like down on alert because I'm like, okay. I have never really seen him play. Like most of his classes been with boys. So now
Okay.
he was in the environment with like girls and everything, and it's like, yeah, this little girl is like on my baby heels. I was
Let me
like,
tell you, some of
oh
these girls love our sons, man. I went through
yeah.
that with karate when my oldest was in karate back when he was like 4 or 5, and he was the one of the youngest ones in the class. And they had this little girl in there, a tiny little thing. But
Mhm.
she just adored my son. If he's sitting someplace, she's sitting next to him. Speak to
Mhm.
him all the time. Don't speak to everybody, but always going to speak to him when she come and when she leave. Uh, One time, they was doing lessons with the older kids, so they dismissed the younger kids. So we
Mhm.
getting ready to leave, and she's like, Nicholas, you coming with us? You coming with us? And we gonna go to my house, and we gonna play the prince and the princess, and we going. It's like whoa, 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 whoa.
Like
I'm
she
in my
wanted to
mind like,
play.
oh, hold on, fast little girl. What game is that?
She was trying to
What's the
play
rules of
house.
that game?
She was
You know what
trying
I'm
to play
saying?
upsell versus the
What's the
house.
rules of that game? Okay, hold on though. And the mom thinks it's funny. The mom thinks it's the funny, most adorable thing. And I gotta find a way to be like, no, we gotta go
Like,
home,
listen, man.
sweetheart. Like,
Yeah.
he'll see you next time at karate. Like, no, we're not setting up no play date. Me and mom's not setting up no play date. Nah, get out of here. Get out of here. Fast ass little girl. Say no. Uh,
Nah.
Say asked, what level autism does he have? My son is level 2.
He's level 2 nonverbal. Um, he talks. He talks. Um, um, he just can't hold a conversation. So he I don't know if Nazi heard him when I started laughing. He basically was like, no, no, no. And
Yeah, I
then he
heard.
came and I looked at me and was like, he we have a lot of I used to put it on Facebook. I gotta start doing it again. When we have our silent arguments where he looking at me and I'm looking at him, but then he mad that I'm looking at him, look back at me. We have a lot of those, and then he'll look at me because I gotta figure out what he's looking for. Like, do he want something or
Hmm.
he come to check me because I chuckled. Um, I have to know when I can sing along and when I can't. So like yeah, he really can't hold a conversation. Like he's now saying like little phrases, but like he'll tell me the way he asks to do anything, he'll say no. Like if he want to go to the store, he's like no store, and I'm like store, and he's like store, and I'm like store. He's like store. You gotta say it 3 times because he got OCD too. So it's like store, and then by third time he going to go get the bag, and he put in his because he was the COVID. He was in the COVID time. We had to bring our own
Okay.
bags. Now they don't give us the bag. So not COVID, but when we stop with the bags in Jersey, so he'll get his
Hmm.
coat and then we'll go. But like he has a couple of phrases that he can say, but like as far as like somebody coming to try to talk to him, kids are always trying to hang out with him and talk to him, and he's like, why is he not talking to me? He doesn't want to talk. And the
Hmm.
most he'll get is a creepy hi. He'll be like, hi, and be like, oh, okay, he's like a murderer. Like he cut some little girl hair in the store, I guess because he liked her, and he got so excited he was bopping his head and then all happy. He touched her hair and then looked her in the eye, like he does what he does to me. He just like pop in on the side and look her in the eye, like lock eyes
Hmm.
and then say hi like a creepy person. And she's like, "Mommy, Papa, you can say hi to my baby." Yeah, so he don't even talk to nobody.
Oh
But
man. And back to the conversation because this is a part that I didn't want to talk about, but I
yeah,
think that needs to be mentioned when we talk about the consequences and the bad outcomes of why we need to protect our kids. We need to realize and we need to be mindful. Our kids are self-deleting at an alarming rate. Um, Things like sexual abuse, sexual assault, sexual confusion, even, because we take things for granted. We think this person would never, we think that person would never. As I said, just the assumption of women not being criminal or not being sexually deviant. Um, we leave our kids stranded um, when we allow these things to happen to them. Like Sonny said, my sons can't come tell me that some woman touched them inappropriately, and I'm not, you know, Vincent and Stabler on the case immediately.
that part. I'm a
Like
working for SCU
I
real
would
quick.
rather find out that you was lying and making it up for some reason, and then I gotta kick your ass, break my whole kneecap off in your ass before. And it doesn't matter who they point out. It doesn't matter who they point out. I'm on the case, and I'd rather find out that you were wrong or that you misinterpreted something before I sit there and try to justify why what you said wasn't true. Um, so it's really important. Some of these kids, you know, you don't know why they decided to end their life, and that be the reason why, because something happened to them.
Yeah,
And because we lived in this society where things can happen to boys and boys just supposed to deal with it. Um, you think these kids don't catch on to that? You think boys don't understand at a young age that most people don't give a fuck about us?
yeah,
Like that we're not as precious or as valued as girls? You would think we don't catch on to that at a
yeah,
very early age? We do. And we operate in that all the way up through adulthood. That's why grown ass men can't open up to women that they fall in love with. That's
yeah. That's a
why,
big one. That's a big one.
you know, grown ass men can't open up to their homies going through the worst fucking struggle. They homie also going through the worst struggle. They other homie all going through the worst fucking struggle. And none of them know about it.
and they
not
don't know
either
how to
one of them
open up
know
and
about it
communicate. Yeah,
because of what happened to them when they was young, setting the tone for the fact that, man, he don't want to hear that shit. I know he don't want to hear that shit. Or even if you know something's going on with your bro, and then you got something going on because you thinking this way about it, you don't want to tell him because he going through something, so you don't want to burden him with what you got going on. Whole time he would be there for you if you allowed it. Um,
yeah. I think
and
it's a
I
lot.
say,
A lot of men dealing with stuff on their own, not necessarily. And that's another thing too. Like a lot of men go through stuff and don't like. If you consider these men that are in your circle, your brothers, or somebody that you consider your family, like you would look at as like somebody that's not, I don't want to say protect you, but like it's gonna be there for you, and whenever you need that person, you need. I think a lot of men need that friendship that I can tell you, hey, dude, hey, bro, I'm going through this. This is what I'm dealing with. Like, I know you going through stuff, but like, cause then you can vent to each other. That's what we as women do. Too. It's to vent. Or like I said, therapy. If you don't
mhm,
have that,
yeah, yeah, it's very important.
it's an unbiased opinion. They can't tell nobody your business. You can spill your guts. I mean, because with unfortunately, with sometimes when you're friends with people, you're not friends with people, people tell you business. So you can go to a therapist that you pay to that they ain't supposed to tell them. If they do,
They
you
lose
get
their job.
paid.
Right.
You
Yep.
get paid if
Yeah.
they go tell your business. They
Yeah.
lawsuit.
Right.
It's a violation. But like I think we I think with men and our boys, they don't really look at it like from that standpoint because like y'all, I feel like with men, y'all don't. Some men don't have those conversations, but that's your
Hmm.
friend, that's your bro, that's third. Like I can call my best friend right now and just talk about anything, like good, bad, or different, or something I'm going through. And like I said, this week when I was going through, I talked to her, and like it's like my therapist, and she'll be like, "Girl, blah blah blah," give me her opinion and on that, and I, think about it, whatever, stuff like that. And then I'll come back to her like, I thought about what you said, and blah blah blah. Like just have like a real adult conversation. I feel like it's some men that do have friends that do that, and that's a goal. That's a gold star to have, right? To have
It
friends
is.
that are like that in your corner. But I feel like a lot of people don't. A lot of men feel like that's the sign of weakness,
It's weakness. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's healthy.
You have to unlearn that. You have to unlearn that. Like that's something that you literally have to unlearn. You have to, condition yourself, counter condition yourself to the way that you was conditioned growing up. And I'm so grateful to have multiple circles and multiple peer groups of friends and other brothers who like I'm going through some shit right now. I was able to talk to them about it. I was able to reach out to them about it. This shit is impacting my family. So I'm people, they love me, so they love my family. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I could say, hey, on my behalf, if you come across my son, what I'm saying, so forth and so on, show him some love, what I'm saying, whatever, whatever. So I'm blessed in that I have that. And I'm glad to see that more Black men are concentrating on being safe spaces for each other,
yeah,
saving safe spaces for each other, and taking advantage of each other as safe spaces. Like, I done had enough of this shit, bro. I can't hold this in no more. Can we talk for a couple minutes, bro? Like, can I call you? What I'm saying? You busy? Let me talk to you. You know, um, I've gotten quite more few of those text messages throughout the last few years. Um, I even had a homie who hit me up and told me, bro, I don't think I got much time left, and I just need to talk to somebody. And he credits me with saving his life. I don't know that I was that important, but what I'm saying, I dropped what I was doing to go see him and to go rap with him. So praise God that he's still here. But like, uh, this is like I said, it's an epidemic. Male suicide rates is insane. Um,
yeah,
and you know, it's impacted, like I said, it's impacting our youth, which is most sad and most tragic of all.
yeah.
Um,
I think even if
because
as women need to learn that like it's that program that men don't go through stuff they're not blah blah blah. and like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with my boyfriend when his biological dad passed, um I knew from losing my mom what I wanted for me in the moment in the time when I had lost my mom. So even though like he never had to, and this is before we were even boyfriend and girlfriend, like it was like I knew what I wanted, and without him even telling me, I just was there. Like I didn't push a conversation, and that's like when he lost one of his good friends. One of his good friends got murdered, and like even then, like both times, I wasn't that person, and I feel like a lot of people need to do this without um emotionally investing, but like just sometimes it's not there to just talk, just being there, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
would call like he with his dad in particular, like back and forth to the hospital before they took him off like support type of thing, and it was like I just did like because I didn't experience that. My mom was quick, and I like when we did talk, I was very intentional with what I said and how I said it while being sensitive because you don't want to come off like I know because even though my mom passed, I don't know what you're
Right.
going through.
What you're
Like
going through, right?
I
Everybody takes
understand
it different.
to an extent, but like I'm never gonna say I know. I'm here, and blah blah blah, and like I will offer a couple of words of encouragement to him and his siblings and like the family, but I primarily was there just to sit there. I made sure they ate. Like when it first happened, I made sure everybody ate like that, and then I just sat and I used to just go there and sit with him. Like he would go to work, like because most men just continue on business as usual. So I
Yep.
let him. I let him do that. But I also was like, I always said to him when I left him, I'm like, call me when you want me to come. And I had people on standby to watch my son, and I would just go sit with him. And then in the time when we sit with him, because he got OCD, I would come
Mm-hmm.
straighten up. But he didn't straighten up because that was the last thing on his mind. And
Right.
then I would just make sure he eats, and I would just sit there. We could just sit and listen to music, listen. So he would rap and stuff. So he would listen
Right.
to a beat, and I would just sit there. And I said sometimes just being there, like, because I know he wasn't one of them guys that wanted to talk.
Right.
It was just like be here.
Yeah. You just don't
Even
want
if
to be
he didn't
alone.
know what he wanted me here, like even if he never had to say that to me, but I just was like there. And
Yep.
I feel like with guys, it's like us as women, we just feel like we need them to talk, and sometimes it's not necessarily that. Sometimes it can be that because when he was ready to open up, I was there to
Right.
listen. I said very little, rubbed back and said, say, okay, little ad libs, like just, let him know that I
Right.
was engaged in the conversation. But I just wanted him, like, once he was ready to talk, I just let him do that. And I feel like we be so wrapped up in our own stuff as females that we forget that they need that too.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
give
No,
them
that's
that
important.
safe space to be that way and
Yeah.
not feel like they gotta be strong. No, it's so I would say that it's okay to cry. If you don't know how to feel, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
be whatever you need right now is what you're gonna do. And I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make you feel any other way or like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah. Create a safe space for our boys, so that we can do that for our men. It's very important. It's very important. I applaud you and salute you on that because, like you said, some women want to be there so badly, for their boys or for their men that they push, and whole time you're pushing him away because that's not what he needs. That's
yeah,
not what he wants. He's not even sure what he wants or what he needs, but he knows it ain't that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So trying to force him to talk about his feelings or trying to force him to open up is detrimental. It's counterproductive,
yeah,
counterintuitive. So, just be there, be available, be present, and be willing to help. And, eventually, even if it's something like, asking for a plate or, can you pass me that from over there? It'll build that ability for him to finally open up, break down, whatever it is that he's been avoiding doing. Um,
yeah,
and you'll realize that at some point he'll come to you. He'll come
yeah,
to you. Um, so this was a really thorough, important conversation.
Yes.
I appreciate the gravity that you bring through this conversation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
from your experiences and from the people you talk to, on top of you also being a fellow excellent podcaster yourself.
I tried.
Um, so as we sign out, please let the people know about your podcast, where they could find you and what you got going on. On
All
top
right.
of, I also have to drop that this is one of my co-partners in the Philly Podlink group. Okay.
Yes.
Hashtag Podlink Philly. Whoever you see, Sonny, I'm gonna be there supporting because she's part of the group, she's part of the team, we part of the
Yeah.
same gang. You heard?
That part. All right. So I'm just gonna let the disclaimer out right now. Right now we're doing podcasts, but not on a consistent basis. Right now we're on like a little break, but we are like trying to drop content in between. But the GFT Radio Show network is my podcast. You can follow from GFT Radio on Facebook. We got the Facebook group discussion group called Join the Conversation. We talk about any and everything in that group. As you already know, my podcast are no holds bars. Outside of the main show GFT Radio, we have the Unreservedly Us with Jane and Christine and myself. We do the Unreservedly Us, and then Texas Sunny will be back this year. It's been I got a lot of stuff. I'm cooking a lot of stuff. I've been doing a lot of overtime, so I'm now mellowing out. So I'm gonna come back to podcasting full time like we were. But you can go to our website to catch all of our contact information, all that stuff. You can follow me. I am Sunny_D on all the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok. I actually just did what's the one you just told us about? Fanbase? Is that Fanbase?
Oh yeah, fan base. Yep.
Fanbase. I'm on Threads. I'm just everywhere. So you can find me at you Google that name and you're gonna see all my stuff. Follow me. But hope to see you guys soon. I think we are doing a podcast this coming Monday. So if you guys go over to our GSP Radio website or look us up on Facebook or YouTube and you can find us there. And we stream live on Mondays at 10 p.m.
All right. Let me
Oh
put
yeah,
that.
and you can see me at the podcast link Philly. Follow that on Instagram. Podcast link Philly on Instagram for all of us podcasters are on that page. Most of our content is on there from our live shows and everything else. So everything that's related to that is all there. But yeah, do that. Support us.
All right. Just put it up on the screen. GFT Radio
Yeah.
for those of you who either somehow hearing impaired or can't spell. Made it easy
I
for
got a
y'all to
list,
put
so
it
it should
on
be
the
big too.
screen. Yeah, man.
But thanks, Naj, for
Definitely.
having me, especially with this topic. Near
Nah,
and
like
dear
you
to my
said,
heart.
this was this was something that's important to both of us. I'm glad you even suggested it from jump. I enjoy podcasting with you. We always put out good product on top of the fact that
Yeah.
it's fun. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's fun. We got
I had
great
y'all laughing at the
podcast
beginning about that
chemistry.
date.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. But
But Tyler, right? We do need to do a dating show because I got some
that,
stories. I got some dating stories back when I was out here single and trying to date. Oh my God.
I'm trying to tell you, it's a demand for it. It's gonna be a demand for it. They trying to hear it. They trying
Yeah.
to hear it. You're gonna have a lot of other girlies wanting to pay attention and what I'm saying here who had the worst stories or who had something
That part.
similar to theirs, you know what I'm saying? So y'all should definitely get to making that happen.
Yeah.
Um, but thank you to everybody who joined the chat. Ra, Hank, Myron, Kane, Taya, Jonathan, from my guys, from our West Coast affiliates, Sports
Oh
for You
yeah.
podcast. Shout out to them. Um,
Yeah.
Shout out to Mia Moore Apparel. That is Sabrine's jewelry line. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She makes custom jewelry, so shout out to her. Um, Mia Moore Paparazzi, I believe it's called. So shout out to her and her brand. And who else? Who else is in the chat? Shout out to my man Ace, my brother, as we always be, A.C.E. Uh, Shout out to Mimi in her absence. Shout out to the
Yes. Oh,
sponsor
I
of the
wish you could have been here.
podcast. I know, right? She wish she could have been here too. She was upset.
Oh.
Shout out to the sponsor of the podcast, the owner of Simply the Shea Catering and co-owner of Second Line Express, Quiche with the Cakes. As I always say, folks, be smart, be respectful, Be patient. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people gonna make that impossible. Don't worry about it. But make sure every single day to take the time out to be kind to yourselves because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. From me and Sunny D, remember, protect our boys the way
Yes.
we protect our girls. We mean that from top to bottom on every aspect. Mike, you came in dead at the end of the pod,
Tell
bro. You
Mike he's
missed
fired.
everything. You talk about what I missed. You missed everything. You just here for the
Everything.
outro.
Yes. You're
Dang.
fired. We got
Go back
fired
and
him.
watch it though. Go back and watch it. Thank you. Shout out to you for at least joining the pod at some
Yeah,
point.
he
You
tried. Oh,
know what
this
I'm
is
saying?
amazing.
Shout out to you for getting in the chat, even if it's at the end. But we up out of here. We done gave y'all content for long enough. Mike,
That
9
part.
o'clock, 9:30, somewhere around that time next time if you can. We appreciate you though. We up out of here, y'all. Be
Bye.
safe and stay dangerous.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah.